Hello everyone, back with Tales of Arise. Last time we had a whim episode with Alphen's mask breaking, Shionne getting kidnapped, Almeidrea getting assassinated, and pretty much all of the things that are in the title for this episode. So our party's been thrown their disparate ways, so at this point there's nothing left to do but to press on. I can't fast travel or anything, so... And I don't know where the rest of the party is or what really we can do, aside from go forward.
Niori.
Oh, I changed the voices to English.
Hi.
Just to test it and see if people like that more or not.
Damn it. Squish.
I feel like the impression I had of what Alphen would sound like in English was actually pretty accurate.
No escape. You're mine. You're finished. Azure Storm. Sword Lane Alpha. You're mine. Tear! No escape! Dragon Swarm! Sword Lane Alpha! Here I come! Hold nothing back! Here I come!
Can I even Mystic Art without the sword?
Azure Storm!
I cannot.
Sword Lane Alpha!
That's a good touch in the
Iron Cleaver!
details.
Hmm?
That's a good touch in details.
Yeah.
Take this!
This is actually so hard by myself, though.
Eat dirt!
He doesn't even knock them down.
Here I come! Sword Lane Alpha!
And they're water, so maybe lightning might be...
Here I come! You're finished!
This is actually like such a hard fight.
I could do without this pain.
I'm not going to use items just because I'm curious as to whether or not it's like a scripted, like you're expected to lose or if you're expected to actually win.
Hurricane Thrust! Lunar Rondo!
That's my first lifeline.
You're mine!
That's Aqua Laser, that's better. Yep. Aqua Laser's easy to dodge.
You're finished!
Law being here would make this so much easier.
Plasma shock! You're finished! This one's all mine! Here I come! Eat dirt!
Hey? Why aren't you dead yet?
Not a chance!
There we go.
Strike!
I got this.
You're mine! You're finished!
Slowly, but we'll get this.
You're mine! Hurricane Thrust! Devastation!
Just don't get
Take
hit.
this! Sword Lane Alpha! You're mine! It's over! Sword Lane Alpha! You're mine! It's over! Soaring Light Spear! Sword Lane Alpha!
Let's back out of that one, too.
I'm not done!
Broken.
Dragon Swarm! It's on! You're finished!
It's hard to hit with Soaring Light Spear.
Take this! You're finished! Plasma shock! Is this it?
No! Okay, that actually is just like, you just have to clear this. I knew, like, right at the last moment that that was gonna screw me over. This isn't helping me right now because I don't have any fire damage. I'm wondering if I want to go with one of the higher grade accessories instead. Kinda want to go with the shock emblem. I guess I'll swap these real quick. I don't know, like, why it doesn't just swap them instead. This is like a surprisingly tanky fight for solo, though.
Strike! Dragon form! Azure storm!
Right. Let's go with Gale Force instead, actually.
What level is Alphen currently?
30. These are 31.
Only one level behind in this tanky.
Sword rain out!
Uh-huh.
It's over!
Like, it wouldn't be so bad if there were only, like, say...
Orochi Fury! Dragon Swarm! Dazzle! Take this! It's over!
I was hoping I would get a crit and get my AG back in the middle of that.
Here I come! You're finished! Sword Rain Alpha!
And they hurt, too.
Take this! You're finished!
And I can't even take advantage of that break because they're too close together. The other one would just knock me out of my combo. Okay, good. That one's spell casting. Let's widen that gap between them in the meantime. Or the other one will start spell casting and just stay right next to it. Perfect.
You're mine!
And another one.
I mean, that one continuing to spell cast is fine.
Try harder! You're mine! You're finished! Dazzle! Take this! Luna Rondo! Startup! Hold nothing back! Here I come! Sword Rain Alpha! Sonic Thrust! Be still!
Couldn't even do that much with it. Maybe I can boost strike this guy in the back. Okay, that does actually work. And I can go behind this one.
You're finished! Dragon Swarm!
Ugh. I didn't think that would actually hit me from that far away. Whoa, that was a new attack. Come on. Okay, good, that one's charging. Oh no, the other one's charging! I was hoping that the other one would start spellcasting again. Too early still. God, that spell is a lot slower than I thought. Okay, good. This should work.
It's over! You're mine! It's over! Orochi's Fury! Be still!
Whoop. Now I fly away.
This one's all mine! Orochi's Fury! My turn!
There we go.
I'm not done!
If I can just get this in. There we go!
Not a chance!
Nice.
Orochi's Fury! Dragon Swarm! Sword Rain Alpha! You picked the wrong fight! Orochi's Fury! You're finished!
Pretty good combo there.
You're mine! Ha! Sword Rain Alpha! Orochi's Fury! Sonic Thrust! Here I come!
Back away.
Here I come! You're finished! Sword Rain Alpha! Orochi's Fury! Sonic Thrust!
Back away again. And go ahead.
Orochi's Fury! Lightning Thrust! Luna Rondo! Try harder! Not a chance!
Nice.
No escape! Dragon Swarm! Orochi's Fury! Lightning Thrust! I'm not done! Strike! Orochi's Fury! This one's all mine! Dragon Swarm!
Hey, there we go. Phew! Even just two of them took... That was like a good 2-3 minute long fight.
Alvin?
Finwell!
What happened just now? Normally you'd be able to take that thing with your eyes closed.
So the fight is
Thank
for
goodness
something.
you're alive. Are you all right?
I thought his voice would be deeper.
I'm just glad we found you in one piece. You were the only one still missing.
Rinwell is pretty much as
There's a
expected.
village back the way we came from, Thistleim.
I thought she would be like a little... Like, her voice would be a little higher.
Finwell, where are we?
Ganeth Haros, Volron's realm. Remember?
Ushered by the waves straight to the enemy stronghold. A rare stroke of luck, it would seem.
Luck?
If Volron's here, that means Shionne's close too, right?
Shionne? Oh. Right. Of course.
Are you sure you're feeling okay? You seem a little off.
He's probably just exhausted. Let's save the catching up for when we're back at the village.
I'm also just doing way less damage.
I think they purposely set your stats down to just give you the feel of helplessness.
Yeah.
We won.
Let me see if I can actually check my stats. Like, my stats are the same as always, but it felt like I was doing, like, way, way, way less damage than I should have.
You were only doing double digits at best.
Exactly. And I'm getting close to the point where I can deal, like, usually, like, a couple hundred per hit.
Mm-hmm.
I will say I don't really like the English voices that much. Or at least for the characters that we've heard so far.
Mm-hmm. Oh, give it one stream and then if at the end we don't, change it back to the next one.
Yeah. I've also do you remember if I found the owl in the ship? The big ship that was done last stream?
I don't think you did. I remember hearing it, I think, but we never found it.
I thought I found it.
Did you? Okay.
I'm not sure. If I did,
I'm
then I'm
not sure.
actually screwed. If
Wait,
I
what do you
didn't.
mean if you did?
Hmm?
Oh, you didn't?
Yeah.
They should give you a way to go back to it, no?
They don't.
I would Google this.
Speaking of Thistleim, it's populated by Danins, but they're not under the rule of any lord. Pretty refreshing, huh?
Refreshing like a
Town
spring
was built
breeze.
by Danin defectors, escapees from elsewhere. This area's teeming with stray Zoogles, though, so heaven only knows how they managed to set up a community here. The ordeal seems to have left them understandably on edge. Kisara and La are back there right now trying to convince them of our good intentions. Say, Alphen, it looks like you got your face back then.
You got your face back.
And your sense of pain,
Such a
too,
weird
it
say.
would seem.
Where do
Any
I say it?
connection?
Really? Oh, but that means...
Probably.
I wonder if Al...
Okay.
Coming through!
Here I come! It's over!
Let us take to the fray!
Yeah, see, like I'm only doing like double.
Just knock me out again!
Dragon form! Sword Rain Alpha!
Fire
Take this!
Torches display!
You're finished!
Sharpness! Firmament render!
It's over!
Arrow fall!
Here I come!
Ooh, don't let him over limit.
Firmament
Orochi
render!
Fury!
Arrow
You're
fall!
mine! You're finished!
Fire's a
Dragon form!
display!
Behold! The earth quote! Tectonic vision!
It just doesn't have the same level of like impact as the Japanese one for that one.
Orochi Fury! You're mine! You're finished!
Like if you just thrown together like a random montage
Sword Rain Alpha!
of like English clips, I wouldn't have been able to tell that that was his mystic art.
An astral art?
That's my cue!
Shut him down! Orochi Fury!
I'm ready!
Next, my turn! It's over!
Raging storm!
Orochi Fury!
Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis!
A comfort.
I have good news and bad news. Which one would you like to hear first?
I'm guessing the good news is I do get to return there. The bad news is I did not find the owl.
No.
Okay,
No.
so
The bad news, you cannot return.
yep.
The good news, you will be able to pick up the owl somehow.
Okay. I'll have to check if I found the owl or not. I could have sworn that I did, but I don't remember.
I will go ahead and watch the previous plot right now and see if you did. Okay.
You sure?
Yeah.
It's a lot of effort.
No worries.
Just planning on doing that myself later. Oh, I found it. Like, I can see it, but I don't know how to get to it. What? Oh, you just access it from here? That's what the Renaissance looks like.
You're saying we should check the Owl Forest?
What item did you just get from that?
Right eye patch. And I've been
Okay.
told I should check the Owl Forest. I have found...
The best way to check your list for a item called butterfly wings.
I did get those.
You have butterfly wings?
Yes, I remember
Okay.
getting them for sure. Because I remember them being blue, and I was like, these are really pretty. I just don't know who they fit on with the character designs I've chosen.
Okay. The owl gave butterfly wings.
Okay. Good. Because if we look at other... See? Butterfly wings.
Yep.
Okay,
yeah.
good.
Easiest way to track that down then. We got it.
Yay! Thank you.
Alphen! Boy, am I glad to see you safe.
Well, did you manage to convince them we're not in league with any lord?
Yeah, eventually.
When the ship sank, I thought we were done for. Guess the world just couldn't keep us apart.
Yeah. And now we can finally go rescue Shionne.
Alvin looks
There's
like he's high.
Something I need to tell you guys first.
Now he looks angry. Anger.
I got my memory back.
Oh.
Smiles? And then frowns.
Like,
Rinwell and Law looked like they were happy about hearing the news, but then
Law has like this weird, like when he's surprised, that looks
So,
like a grimace
what
in
did
his
you
mouth at
remember?
the same time.
Are you able to tell us now?
Give the man some space, Law.
yeah, Kirito, shut up.
I remember being up on Lenegus.
Go on.
He's sitting on the air.
I was abducted from
Cool.
Dana. I was told if I ever wanted to return home, I'd have to cooperate. So that's what I did.
He has a good like 1,000-yard stare right now.
Next thing I knew, they had made me into the Sovereign.
You mean to say you won the crown contest? As a Danon?
No. They kept me locked in a strange facility. They experimented on me, like I was nothing more than an animal. There were others, but only I survived. Of course, I wasn't really a king. The reality was that they treated me worse even than the lowest slave. The only reason I survived was because my body was able to withstand the Sovereign's power that they placed inside me.
The crest that appeared behind you on Almeidrea's ship must have undoubtedly been that of the Sovereign. It all makes sense now. Your affinity with the blazing sword, and the strange powers you possess, they were all because you were the Sovereign.
Okay, but why would the Renans go out of their way to give you all that power? Just what exactly does being the Sovereign entail?
They said it was for something called the Spirit Channeling Ceremony. They taught me how to harness my power for when the big day came. As for what the ceremony was actually for, unfortunately, I never found out.
So if what you're saying about being on Lenegus is true, then maybe you really did meet Shionne. After all, you said you recognized her from somewhere, right?
But Shionne said she'd never seen him before. How do you explain that?
I was wrong. It wasn't Shionne I knew from Lenegus. It was Naori. She was a Renan maiden they paired me with during the spirit channeling ceremony. She's the woman I kept seeing in my dreams.
A maiden? What?
Wait, so this Naori figure just happens to be the double of Shionne? Bit coincidental, isn't it?
Naori's family name was Imeris.
They're sisters. Dun dun dun.
Imeris? As in Shionne Imeris?
So they're distant relatives or something? Or are they sisters?
Your guess is as good as mine. All I know is it was Naori. She's the one who put the mask on me.
The mask? But why?
To keep my soul from devouring itself over the guilt. After
Murdered everybody.
After what I did on Lenegus.
Even them children.
Over the lives I took.
Lives? You mean you staged a rebellion?
Perhaps it was a part of this spirit channeling ceremony?
I don't know. Whatever it was that the spirit channeling ceremony was supposed to achieve, it didn't turn out as planned. I lost consciousness halfway through. By the time I came to, Lenegus was a sea of flames. I opened my eyes to see Naori there, weeping. I shudder to think of how many deaths I caused that day. Certainly more than any of these lords can claim, I'm sure.
You really expect us to believe this? First the Sovereign, then Lenegus? You couldn't possibly have done all that.
I wonder.
I mean, we have a lord here. Do you not hear
In
any news
ancient
about?
scripture, there is tell of a terrible calamity that befell Lenegus, nearly destroying it. The restoration took years and required the work of countless laborers.
By ancient, you mean...
It predates the crown contest, to a time before even the first Renan invasion of Dana.
How old are
More than
you?
300 years ago.
300?
Ooh.
But that'd make Alphen...
That's right. I'm pretty much an antique of a human being.
It's a weird way to say it.
Deep down, maybe I already knew.
Alphen...
Some hero, huh? Cooperating with the same villains who snatched me from my home, committing mass slaughter, only for it to slip my mind. Then, when I finally remember, turns out I'm so old I've got scripture written about me.
It doesn't sound like as emotional as I would expect someone to be in this situation.
So much for standing up to injustice. I've probably got more blood on my hands than all the lords combined!
Alphen, stop! Honestly, I'm not going to pretend to understand what all this means. But what I do know is that right now, you're just reacting to the shock.
Kisara.
Listen, what you really need is time. Time to process things and get your head straight. Truth be told, I think that probably goes for all of us.
What about Shionne? We can't just...
I'm worried about Shionne too, Law. But it's clear that Alphen's in no fit state to fight. This is Volron, remember? Even at full capacity, it's practically a suicide mission. We stay put in the village till we're ready. Okay, everyone? Take some time to think things through, okay? But remember, we're all here for you if you need us. No matter how dark things might seem, you're not alone, Alphen.
Thank you.
It's fine. All right, everyone. Let's break for now.
I like Kisara's English voice.
It's kind of fitting.
Mm-hmm. Alphen doesn't feel like he's emoting as much as I expected.
Do I even have the right to fight? Do I have the right to go to Shionne's rescue? What do the others think?
Do you want to save and then reload that cutscene in Japanese?
Yes. I'm thinking that I can reminisce to do that. Because when is my quick save is after this. So like I would have to like what I'm planning to do is go save and then use reminisce to go check. It's just a shame that the seashore doesn't have a campfire. Rude. Also, I can't run anymore. Oh?
What will I even accomplish going alone?
Lots of gold.
That's a lot.
And I, like, was planning on farming through fishing and stuff through, like, after I got on last stream.
Mm-hmm.
And I completely forgot that, like, I logged in earlier today to try to do it. And I was like, oh, right. I just immediately, like, turned it off. Because I forgot to, actually check. I guess I'll just quickly advance.
What do you see out there?
Zeugles. Strays by the looks of it. We unwittingly disturbed their territory on our way here, and now they're looking pretty riled up. So, feel like you're making headway? You know, sorting through things?
All I know is Shionne needs our help. As for what happens after that...
Say, how did you get back down here from Lenegis, anyway?
I came down in a Renan starship. I have Naori to thank for that.
What happened to her? Did she come with you?
She stayed behind. Just as I wanted to get back to Dana and my people, Naori's place was with her fellow Renans, performing her duties as the Maiden. Neither of us asked for the power or roles we were given. I suppose we felt a kinship with each other in that sense. But even then...
Wait, so you mean it wasn't just Danans like you that Lenegis abducted? You're saying they forced Naori, one of their own, to serve against her will as well?
Even within Renan society itself, there exists a hierarchy. I don't think she was ever given the option to refuse. Despite that, she did everything she possibly could to serve her people. The very same ones I ended up slaughtering. And even after that, she still helped me escape back to Dana. She stayed behind on Lenegis to help any of her people who survived. I owe her more than words can express. A debt left to fester for what? 300 years? How do I even begin to make up for something like that?
In all honesty, you don't. You can't atone for what's happened in the past. I don't think anyone can. Be it several centuries ago, or just yesterday.
What are you saying? That I might as well give up?
I'm saying you don't have to be a white knight in shining armor. Back after my brother had passed away, it was you who told me that his dream lived on inside me. And you did the same for him, for Dohalim, when he was ready to give up too. You were there for both of us. You know what I heard? I heard you telling me to keep fighting. To strive no matter what.
Then I was out of line. I had no right to ask that of you.
No, you're wrong. Those words were exactly what I needed to hear at the time. In fact, I would go as far as to say that I wouldn't even be here had I not heard them. Left to my own devices, who knows when I would have been able to pick myself up. Besides, it's not like killing all those people was a choice that you made of your own free will, right? The truly terrible ones are the people who abducted you. The ones who forced you to wield that power. They're the ones you should be blaming. Not only that, but that guilt you feel inside, that's all the proof you need to know you're a good person, Alphen. Do you understand? If I'm still allowed to fight and keep on living, Then damn it, Alphen, so the hell are you. But if you're still not convinced, then ask yourself this. What is it that you've really been fighting for this whole time? Go on, ask yourself.
What I've been fighting for, huh?
Yay, Kisara. Good pep talk.
You're certainly full of surprises,
I
aren't you?
really don't like Dolim's voice though,
Trust me, it's not intentional.
in English.
Sorry, that was insensitive of me. Though, there's still an awful lot I wish I could understand. Every new piece of information seems only to yield further mysteries. The truth feels just as elusive as when we first started. I am well aware of where you got your powers. But why, as a Danon, do you bear the same crest as the current Renan sovereign? More to the point, why choose a Danon for their sovereign in the first place? And then there is the Maiden, a figure so powerful, she's playing yin to the sovereign's yang in esoteric ceremonies. And yet, I've never even heard of her. Then again, this all occurred 300 years ago. What if the term sovereign doesn't even hold the same meaning as it did back then? Listen, I may be a traitor among my people, but I am still Renan, born and raised.
On the playground is where I spent most of my days.
Listen to the same tales. And yet now I feel like there's little truth to any of it.
Speaking of which, there's something else that I remembered from the spirit channeling ceremony. It used the Renis Alma.
You're certain?
Yes. Or at least that's what they called it. Only you would know if it was one and the same.
Oh, I have never laid eyes on the real artifact myself. And you never participated in a crown contest. You're not even Renan. Many mysteries lay buried in these 3 centuries past.
3 centuries is more than several lifetimes. Was I really out that long?
Well, I'm only estimating based on historical record. But all the facts would seem to point that way.
Who the hell am I?
If I may be frank, we have even bigger fish to fry than that. By comparison, the far more important question at hand is, just what does it all mean?
Frank, huh?
Sometimes, we need a little help in addressing the truth behind our pain. Not to compete over lives lost, but I suspect your count is still somewhat beneath mine.
Thanks for lending me an ear. And sorry for being a bother.
Please, no thanks are necessary. The quicker you get back on your feet, the sooner we can all get back out there.
Good talk, Frankenbother.
Please lay eggs already. Sad face. Hello, Renan.
All this time, I thought it was the worrying about Shionne and the pain bringing you down. I didn't realize you were lonely too.
I guess all of us are. In one way or another.
Yeah, but you've only just found out. I mean, no, not found out. Remembered.
To tell you the truth, I was actually beginning to forget I'd even lost my memory in the first place. Now that it's returned, well, you can see what I'm like. It's strange. When I think about Lenegis, it still feels like it was only a year or 2 ago that I was there. But then I realized what feels like years was actually centuries ago.
What about your hometown? Do you know if it's still there?
I doubt it. When the Renans invaded, the world as I knew it changed overnight. Even if the place is still there physically, I expect the people will be long gone. Certainly everyone I knew, at least. My family, my friends.
Yeah, I know how that feels. I have no home to return to either. No family waiting for me. I used to curse my bad luck that I'd ever been born a mage in the first place. Otherwise, if I hadn't, maybe my mother and father would still be alive today. Although if that had been the case, I guess I'd probably still be just another slave with no means to resist.
I got it.
I'd never have met up with you guys, that's for sure.
Have you
I
learned
know
to
who I
embrace your powers
expected
yet?
Rinwell to sound like.
Nuh-uh.
Ooh.
I resent them a
Noel
little less than
Vermillion.
before, though. They've kept me alive this
Oh.
long, right? I try not to think about it too much. After all, who can predict what the future will hold? I guess what I'm trying to say is that with everything that's happened in your past, finding out you're the Sovereign and all, it's no wonder you're conflicted. Heck, honestly, I think anyone would be.
Rinwell.
First it was Shionne, then it was me, and now it's you. All of us suffering. Just because of some
Swap a couple
power
of
we
names
never
out, and
even
this
asked for.
conversation could take place
Yeah.
in Blaze Blue,
All
like
this
almost
time,
word for
we're
word,
suffering right in
with
front
a
of me,
couple of names swapped out.
and I never even knew. I
You know
feel
what
like
else can fit in here?
I finally understand what you
Avatar
and
the
Shionne are
Airbender.
going through.
You couldn't have known. Still, if you want to make it up to her, shouldn't we hurry it up and rescue her already? Poor Shionne must be lonely, all by herself wherever she is.
Yeah, you're right. Let's get going.
Rinwell seems too happy to be talking about Shionne being lonely.
It makes me feel like this can also be like Avatar the Airbender, since we had someone just come back from a long time ago. Their own village or place of birth was destroyed. They are currently the only person who
Okay,
have
run again. Yeah.
access to multiple powers.
Yeah. That specific like setup though, like with the character I was talking about, who I expected Rinwell to sound like, there is a girl in Blaze Blue who I expected Rinwell to sound like, who literally like everything she was saying, swap out a couple of names, and that is actually what happened in Blaze Blue.
Alphen, are we gonna go rescue Shionne or what? What's gotten into you, man? Aren't you worried about her?
Do I even have any right to be?
If you were in my place, you'd say, to hell with all that. What do you want to do?
Sounds like me. Pretending I have all the answers is kind of my forte.
Come on, man, snap out of it. This isn't like you. Look, I get it. You finally remember your past, only to feel like you've lost yourself again. You're in shock, and who wouldn't be? Worse still, you blame yourself for what happened. And yeah, I don't agree, but that doesn't mean I don't understand either. But here's the thing. None of that's got anything to do with Shionne.
I guess.
It's about Naori, isn't it? Look, you're still here, aren't you? Who's to say this chick isn't alive and kicking out there somewhere, too? Fine, I've said my piece. The thing is, though, where does this leave Shionne?
My power consumed me once already. I left behind a path of fire and destruction. And the same thing could happen again. I can't guarantee anyone's safety, including Shionne's.
So you think we might get burned up because of your sovereign powers? I can think of worse ways to go. Come on, fight this thing! What happened to the guy who talked to me after my dad died? The one who cared enough to reach out and save me? That's the guy I was proud to follow. Not this faltering imposter who's taken his place.
Correct.
No, I'm serious. What's gotten into you, man? Just give me the word and I'll beat some sense into you if that's what it takes.
There you go.
Now, I'm gonna ask you this once and only once. Are you serious about rescuing Shionne or not? What's it gonna be, Alphen?
What do you think? Of course I want to rescue her. Hell, I'd do it right now if I could.
So then quit griping and do it already!
Just do it!
Listen, you're probably right about all this.
Alphen,
It's exactly like you said. Whatever happened in my past has nothing to do with Shionne. But there's still so much that There I go again. So much for the inspiring Alphen of old.
he could be a pain sometimes. Besides, even a hero has to let the cracks show once in a while, right?
Yeah, I guess you're right. Just give me a little more time to fill in the cracks. And thanks, Law.
Hey, don't even mention it. You've totally got this, Alphen. I believe in you.
I feel like that was an interesting,
Back
like,
to the inn, I
pep
guess.
talk. Not, like, that wasn't the sentence that I wanted to say, but I got 2 threads crossed, and now the data is corrupted in both threads and I can't process properly.
Hmm.
Yeah, you said yes, I can? In what with respect to what? Yeah, just do it. Do you like the English or the Japanese voice, by the way?
There you are!
What is it?
Zoogles, that's what! They're almost at the village gates!
Any closer and they'll be house hunting. I knew we shouldn't have cut through their territory.
That sounds bad.
Can you fight? No shame in bowing out if you're not up for it.
If you're not, I'll just play
Kisara's
as well.
right. You don't want to go overdoing it.
I'm up for it.
Really?
You ready?
As ready as I'll ever be. It's now or never, right?
Alvin, right! Great to have you back! Now let's do this!
You're gonna deal actual damage now, Alphen? I'm obtaining law. Bumbling fighter extraordinaire. Max AG up. Inferno punch! Ooh, I should have bought this first. I also just feel like, I don't know if you were here the whole time, but
Look sharp, people. If we don't act fast, they're going to get into the village.
I would say if everyone here, I would say Kisara's English voice is the best of the lot. And then I guess Renwell's, and then Law, and then Alphen, and then Dolim at the bottom. And the reason I'm evaluating Alphen under Law is because
Right. We need to hurry!
I didn't feel that, like, the emotional energy I expected
Not
from
this
his,
way, I guess.
from him. Or, like, being in a scene where you're essentially just, like, hard freaking out over things that you weren't expecting and, like, don't really have a good way to control over. No! What the hell? They're in the village? I was trying to switch my
Remember,
party.
if the pain's
It
too
blacked
much-
out as I was trying to
We've
switch
all got our
party.
own pain to deal with. I'm done letting others pick up my slack.
No, don't throw me straight in the battle. Kisara's in the battle. Wait, can I just? You can do it mid-battle.
Sa!
Let even a single one through.
There's a firm no-Zoogle policy. Fine by me. Let's get to work then.
Alphen, you do no damage.
Bet that shell's hiding something tasty.
What? Law, shut up, please.
The enemy wields arms too.
Did you hear what he said in the background, Tatsu?
I won't give in.
He said, "Yo, what's inside that shell? Bet you're hiding something tasty."
Oh.
Well, why?
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! I'm on your mind!
It's almost too strong.
Then I'll split it open!
Be my guest.
I'm just getting started!
Totally! In an instant! Impact claw! Not a chance! No escape!
Swallow
Here I come!
I'm on it! Now I'm in the center!
Sword Rain Alpha! Try harder! My turn! You apart!
Lightning
I'm not
orb!
done! You
Now I'm real mad.
Illuminate.
Wow.
You're mine.
WoW is already an over limit again.
He just breathed.
Sword Lane Alpha. Orochi's Fury.
In here. More for the
Take
stockpile.
this. Dragon Swarm. Heal. I owe you one. Orochi's Fury. I'm ready. More. Look sharp. Lightning Tiger Blade.
Nice. I wonder if they heal.
Look sharp sounded pretty good though. But
It did.
Alphen, you okay?
I'm fine. This pain thing really hurts, huh?
Hey, at least you're still alive.
It's like, ow.
It wouldn't be called pain if it was pleasant. It can be pretty useful, though. It's good motivation to improve and get stronger.
Guess I've got a lot of room to improve in that regard.
Anyway, I'm glad we could protect the village, especially after everything they've done for us.
I wonder if they heal if I swap them out
Yeah.
when I'm down. Like while they're in reserve, if they heal up a bit.
You know, this limb kind of reminds me of home. The people here have hidden themselves away out of the fear of being found, always watching their backs. Though in the end, home was destroyed anyway.
That won't happen here.
Oh? Is that a hint of fighting spirit I sense?
自信が戻った。
Yeah.
ついにあんまり長くなかったけど。
Some of these memories will take a while to process. But I've learned something too. My rage, this fury I feel at our so-called rulers, it comes from having so much of myself stripped away from me back then. Friends, family, home. They took everything from me and left me with nothing but guilt. I was completely alone. At least that's what I thought. But not anymore. Since I awakened, I've met people who I care about. Friends who hold me up. Friends who make me feel like I'm worth something.
Good music for this part.
And I won't lose that. Not ever again. I'll protect those bonds with everything I have. That's why I need to keep fighting.
But Shionne comes first.
Yes.
Of course. First we rescue Shionne, then we defeat Volron and liberate Dana. Everyone, will you fight with me?
It's like, Tatsuo, go look up like some
Say the
lines from
word and I'm there.
Noelle and see if you
Certainly
see what
no
I mean.
objections.
Then it's agreed. Our next stop will be the capital, Pelegion. According to the villagers, there's a
The English
huge
stuff,
cliff
right?
separating Thistleum from the capital. Luckily for us, there's a path we can use to climb up.
Sounds like a plan. Let's go.
We don't know what lies ahead. We should prepare well before we
Frosty.
It does sound a little familiar.
Yeah,
It does sound a
you
little
can't exactly
resemblant.
fight at the top of your game. when-
Similar.
Good point. Let's
But you
stop
see
by
how I
the
mean,
inn
like,
and plan
it's
our
just
next
a
move
little
from
bit
there.
higher.
Just a little bit.
Hmm?
Both the
see.
voice
By the way,
actresses who
How's
did
Mahavar doing?
Rinwell plus Noelle are both named Christina.
Interesting.
Don't tell me we still haven't found him.
It's not like we haven't been looking.
They're not the same
Covered
Christina,
whole
but they're both
length and
Christina.
breadth of the coast,
Correct.
but
All of the other crew members are accounted for, including us. But we weren't able to find Mahavar. He's still missing.
I see.
Perhaps he couldn't bring himself to abandon the ship.
You mean at the bottom of the ocean? Damn it.
We don't know that it sank. We all washed up on the same shore. If the ship went down, isn't it strange we haven't come across a single piece of debris?
Do you think he might still be alive somewhere out there?
I think stranger things have happened. Whether he's alive or otherwise, we've exhausted all the avenues available to us. All we can do now is press on ahead.
Fine, let's get going.
Stranger Things new season airing soon. Thistleham, the Hidden Village. Another skit.
Thistleham was founded by
Oh,
Danan's
never mind.
fleeing the tyranny of Renan lords.
Another source
right?
says you were right.
But when you first came, they must have known Dohalim was
Like, their
right.
voices are also
So why do you
extremely
think they
similar.
let us
Like, I
in?
could see it being the same
They
Christina
almost
if she's
did.
just, like, down
But it
pitching.
wasn't just Dohalim.
She
Well, I'm
is.
pitching
It
for
is,
Noel.
actually.
They didn't trust any
Another
of
source
us.
says that it
Even
is
the weird Danans just like
Christine
them.
When you
Marine
live life in constant fear of
Cabanos,
being
which
pursued,
is the same
it's
one who
only a
did
matter of time before
Noel.
all outsiders
Nice.
start to seem a
So yeah,
potential
you were on
threat.
the market.
I suppose
I actually
that
got
makes
it right
sense.
for once.
So how did you
Huzzah.
convince them to trust us?
You saw how destitute the village was? They needed food, badly. We hunted some Zeugles for them. That seemed to do the trick.
Of course, a little magic-assisted roast didn't hurt things.
Never underestimate a full stomach's ability to put a person at ease. It turns out a hearty meal can be a powerful weapon.
Yet another skit, Beyond Vengeance.
Something's on your mind. You having second thoughts about rescuing Shionne?
Of course not. Shionne's our friend.
Finally.
Almeidrea was the one I hated. For as
Oh.
long as I can remember,
Never mind, I was confused.
she served as a symbol to me of everything red.
I was wrong.
But ever
Yeah.
since getting to know
Aw.
Shionne, I realized
It was
doesn't
Christine.
make
It was
sense to
Christina
group
V
people
who did
together
the
like that.
voice
Every
for
individual
Noel.
is
I
different.
thought when I looked it up earlier, it was
I
the
see.
Christine
Besides,
Cabanos.
the
So I
situation
had it
with
mixed up in my head.
Almeidrea was something
Oh,
else
okay.
entirely. I'd already decided I wasn't going to kill her, but when I saw her die right in front of me, a part of me thought it served her right, that she'd gotten what she deserved. But another part regretted that someone else had come along and killed her instead. Don't get me wrong. If I had the chance again, I still wouldn't kill her. But it's not like I'll be shedding any tears now that she's gone. It's all so confusing. I don't know how to make sense of any of it.
Who said it had to make sense?
Huh?
Rinwell, you've done nothing wrong. You've started to question the beliefs you've held all your life. It's only natural for you to feel disoriented. You didn't give in to the hatred you felt for Almeidrea. You made a choice not to kill her. And that's significant, whether you realize it or not. As for what it means exactly, that might be worth taking some time to figure out on your own.
Some time.
Or don't, if you don't want to. It's just an idea. I'm still searching too, remember?
No, I think you're right.
So,
It can't hurt
another
to keep
interesting
searching,
thing.
After all.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, thank
I
you,
was thinking of
Sarah.
other characters that she sounded like, and I was looking it up. And she is Marie Rose from Dead or Alive, as well as Nanami Tsubomi from Kakegurui. The one who is doing the voice for Rinwell. She's also Chiaki Nanami in Danganronpa 3.
Nepgear and Neptunia.
I can definitely
Look-
hear it now. She did Lisette in Stella Glow! I knew her voice was familiar from somewhere. Like, she did this exact voice for Lisette in Stella Glow. It's like, actually... Stella Glow is so good. Criminally
So,
underrated turn-based RPG.
Ooh.
It was like one of the last things that the studio made, unfortunately, and they went under soon after. But it's a bit odd because they tried really hard with Stella Glow and they made an amazing game, but they just didn't have the prestige to really to get carried.
Yeah.
For it to carry them. It didn't have the, what do you call it? They didn't have, it wasn't publicized basically at all. And they just didn't have the,
Have you guys checked your equipment lately?
They just didn't have the popularity to make it work, really.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, if they weren't actively advertising very heavily, or if they weren't getting any kind of other ways to expose themselves, then I can see that.
Yeah. And I don't think it's because they just didn't want to. I just think they just didn't have the funding.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the stuff they made was moderately good, but they did a really good job with Stellar Glow. So, if you like turn-based JRPGs, I would say definitely pick up Stellar Glow. It is definitely worth it. And honestly, I still have it on my 3DS. I've taken pictures of me beating it on both endings and doing New Game Plus.
Mm-hmm.
I would totally, if I could transfer my save from my 3DS to my PC and then emulate it, I would totally go through Stellar Glow a third time for stream.
Ooh.
I'm not sure if I would go through actual just straight up new game all over again.
Mm-hmm.
But I would definitely wouldn't mind another New Game Plus run. Because in my first playthrough I had to farm quite a bit. So I wouldn't want to do that again per se. But near the end of the game you could get some really good weaponry. And pretty cool setups. I will say this in a non-spoiler way. You get someone at one point whose weapons, whose specialty is status effects.
Hey, if we find anyone
And
who needs
that
help here-
character's
I know.
best
We'll make
weapon
sure to ask what's wrong.
is not, in my opinion, their best weapon. You can get an alternate weapon for them that gives them, Actually, no. Their best weapon is fine. It's just that you need one that has, the most slots in it. Because if you max their friendship out, then you get an ability from them that dramatically boosts their rate of applying status effects. So you can throw in,
Okay.
burn, paralyze, poison, slow, stop. Trigger effects in their weapon. Even if you're only using, low-tier versions of it, their skill boost is so exponentially high that, they'll inflict all of the ailments pretty much every attack.
Why?
Ooh.
So, they poke you once, and it's just well, guess I've got 5 status effects on me if I didn't have outright immunity to them.
Teehee.
Tee.
Damn it.
Sorry, I forgot to read this. Somehow they learned to do that recently and it's gotten damn good at it because it's making the rest of us go hungry. That's quite the pickle you're in.
What?
Damn straight it is. It ain't like these fish grow on trees. That sort of fishing ain't good for our waters.
Is that so?
Oh, so that's your point of contention. The manner in which they fish, not the actual fishing plot. You guys are the only ones that have what it takes to drive these crazy monkeys out. Can we count on you to help? Let's see what we can do. Absolutely. We'll sort out these fishy fishing zoogles once and for all. I couldn't have put it better myself. As a fisher herself, this case has gotten her quite fired up, as you can see.
Great job.
It's mighty kind of you to help us out, ma'am. Sorry to lay this on your feet, but we graciously appreciate it. Fishing things, eh?
I'll teach these small fry who's the apex predator of these waters. Just watch and see.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves now.
I guess we're having fish for dinner tonight.
Starclip. Bye-bye.
You're saying we should check the owl forest?
Can I fast travel yet? I can fast travel again, but I cannot go back to any of the previous zones. And there are so many side quests I didn't do because I didn't think about it. Oh, I can't fast travel back to the Owl Forest yet. Check the map and make sure that there aren't any side quests somewhere that I haven't missed that I just wasn't paying attention and missed as a result. Oh. I've still got like half my cooking duration, that's fine.
You sense one of your pals, Hoodle?
New skit, hiking through the jungle.
It feels like I'm melting.
Galaglia was pretty hot, but at least the air there was dry. Out here, it feels like I'm trying to walk through thick soup.
Soup's on.
I can hardly breathe, it's so stuffy. And don't get me started on the insects. You hanging in there, Hoodle?
It's brutal, all right. I can feel my energy being drained away just by walking. All this vegetation makes it hard to keep an eye out. Keep your wits about you, everyone. And watch you don't keel over while you're at it.
What's needed at times like these is a relaxing hot spring. That would soon help us adjust.
And where do you expect us to find one of those?
What about you, Alphen? All that gear, you hardly seem to be breaking a sweat.
Yeah. I guess when you've lived a life devoid of
I guess
pain
if
for
they
as long
didn't
as
go
I
for
have,
like the deep
feeling hot
oh,
and bothered could be a welcome change.
I would say
Well, lucky
Kratos
you, I guess.
Arion would have made like a
Just
good
don't
voice
expect
actor,
us to
like
carry
good
you when you
voice for
pass out.
Dorling. From Tales of Symphonia. Sharply pointed crystal that can pierce through anything but easily crumbles if force is applied to it from the side. This is a new crystal. I've never had one of these. What does it do? Ooh. すごいね。すごいね。Massive penetration rate up, but your resistance is also like garbage.
Little help!
You're mine! Deity!
Alphen is still weak though.
If they rush you, you gotta jump for cover, okay?
Talon Hurricane! Dragon Form!
Yep, and I still can't Mystic Heart. Alright, in that case, what I want to do is I will swap over to start playing as Law and bring Kisara into play for Alphen.
A
charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop.
Swallow dance! Do it! I'll tear you apart! I'm just getting started! Eat this! I'll end you! Eat this! You're done! Swallow dance! I'm going! I'll run you through! I'm gone! I'll tear you apart! I'll finish you here and now!
Appreciate the help.
In here!
Eat this! I'll end you!
I need to change arts. I would like my... Let's see. I want my setup for this to be... Let's do... I think there was a problem with Serpent Knuckle where like it just wouldn't track properly. Swallow Dance can go away. Tectonic Punch instead. Dragon Shot's fine, but I probably want to put a Talon Storm on square and then Steel on triangle. And for aerials, got Glimmer Dragon. Let's do Inferno Punch, Bang Bolero, and then my alternate sets are the downs. There we go.
Too much to handle?
Eat this!
Sweet dreams!
I'll end you!
Make it rain!
All yours, Kisara.
Looks like we won.
And Dia, what do you mean by at least Balrog stabbed first? Donut. And sure, why not? Let's get the defense bonus. And I feel like Alvin should be getting a new title soon, so I'm gonna just hold off on using the rest of his SP. Technically, this is more expensive, but it's more immediate. At the same time, though, like, since she is not... Well, let's do it this way. Hey, a fishing point.
Hey, what do you think about that spot?
Good idea. I'll go for that one.
Let's see. We have glass. These are mostly catfish in Corona.
Where should I cast my line?
So I'll just use this one. I don't really have any good lures.
I've got something.
Oh, my line is going up so tense.
You've gotta know when to quit.
An actual fighter.
Yeah, I wish I had a better rod though.
I've got something.
The weird thing is, like, if you're not actively pulling on it, like, the stress goes up a lot faster than if you're, like, actively pulling on the rope. It makes no sense to me.
Well, that wasn't much of a challenge.
Nice,
you caught it!
Let's see. Triangle X next. That's a big one.
Now, where might those fish be? Hup. Reel it in.
Ah, frick! Good. The more that it does these, the better for me. Cool. Lots of QTEs makes that an easy catch.
I'll catch something bigger next time.
Could have been worse. At least you caught something.
Oh, I got another bass. That's unfortunate.
There we go.
Yeah!
You've got to know when to quit.
I thought it said R1, and I hit the wrong button.
Is this what I think it is?
Oh.
Get it, get it, get it?
You! I can't hit X at all because I'm like, it'll definitely like stress my line out too much. I'm getting close enough though that like, there we go.
That's not a fish I see often.
I see you've gotten even better at this.
Ooh, big one. I wasn't expecting the pike, but hey. Alright, one more.
All right.
I hit X too much. This might be dead.
Gotta know when to quit.
Yeah. That's why I try not to hit X when I'm doing this at all. At least with this rod, it's like, I don't really have the line strength to...
There we go. Well, it's not bad, per se.
Maybe you could keep it as a pet.
Alright, one more and then I'll continue. I don't want people to get too bored.
Reel it in.
This looks like it should be the piranha that I was looking for. There, got it.
She's got a good size to her, all told.
I can't believe you caught that with a rod. Amazing.
There we go. Cool. I promised only one more, so come back later.
All we have to do is get rid of that thing, right?
Yep, these are the terrapin fists.
Hi, Hoodle!
I'm on it! You're done!
Oh, she's always over on it.
In a bind?
Simeon.
I shall steal you where you stand! Catapult! Freaking done it! Too fast! Stand back! I'll trip it up! You're done! Going in! Know thy mystic mercy! Piercing! Know thy mystic mercy! You're done! Done!
Good.
Almost! You're wide open! I'll run you through! I'll tear you apart! What's this? No, I won't give in! Take
I thought my mystic art was gonna go off, and it did
I'll
not.
run you through! I'll tear you apart! Begin! What's this? Catapult! Savage roar! I'm ready! Goodwill! Demons descend! Flashing bang! Too slow! I'll finish you here and now! Inferno punch! I'm gone! Give me a punch!
Dance in the wind!
I'm on it! I'll run you through!
I'll be saving this one!
Eat this! I'll run you through! Crumble! Negative gate!
There we go.
Let's refrain from losing.
Man, this place is thick with foliage.
I know. It feels like we're going to be swallowed up by all these plants if we stay in here.
Indeed. I much prefer the forests in Menancia myself.
Not that I don't agree, but maybe now's not the best time for Elda Menancia pride.
Alright, so I'm looking for the Hoodle. also need to find more terrapin fists. Thermal rock, a stone that retains heat even when enclosed in ice, making it a handy way to keep warm during long, cold nights and frigid reasons. All tier 4. What do you have? Null freeze. Not bad. Oh, no, no. I didn't mean to actually leave. Also, it seems like I might need to put more oil into my
You sense one of
aromatherapy
your pals,
waters.
Poodle? There's the Zoogle we were asked to handle.
I only saw 2 of them, so we'll just, you know, kill another 2.
Coming through. Falling storm. Not my finest.
Ooh.
Are those arms even natural? Here.
Appreciate the help.
I'll be
From
sure you
beyond.
got one.
Imbue this languid soul with life. Going in. Resuscitation.
Why would he say resuscitation? It's resurrection.
I'm on it.
Darling, why are you like this?
Their arcs were interrupted.
You're done! No dawn shall break this night. I'll rip it through!
I'll stop your movement.
And I'll stop your life! You're wide open!
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Yeah! And pummeling to me! Flaming meteor! First strike! I'll run you through! Talon hurricane! I'm ready! Kikara!
I'll stop your movement.
And I'll
Bye-bye.
stop your life!
Shoo!
They really made us work for that one.
Yes, they did. We can go back to Thistle now. Oh, there's a campfire up ahead.
Campfire.
I'm gonna go hand this in, and then we'll go back to the campfire, and then we can work. We can check the Japanese version of that scene. If Reminisce works the way that I think it does. I don't know if it does. But we'll see. But at least I can hand in the side quest now.
Okay.
Are things going with the Mipe Zoogles?
Okay.
Cleared them all out. Your fish are safe for the time being. Huh? Oh, well, yeah, that's good. Means we won't go hungry now either.
Yes.
I really do love to fish, though. Nothing beats going out and catching your trusty rod. Cast it.
What?
Oh, actually, we use nets to fish here. Way easier that way.
Really?
You what? I prefer to fish in bulk, whereas you enjoy the thrill of a one-on-one battle. It's simply a difference in philosophy. If you ever need a fishing partner, I, for one, am always happy to accompany you.
Dohalim.
Dolian. Ooh, things are heating up over here. Looks like you caught a real keeper yourself, friend. Anyway, thanks for all your help with the Mipe Zoogles. Now I can fish in peace again. Gald and 3 life bottles. I wonder if we...
Dohalim, I'm going to look into some seasonal fishing spots.
By all means.
Leave the preparations to me as well. I'll bring the rods. Would you prefer your fish served grilled or raw?
I'll trust your judgment, Kisara.
Yeah. And also I realized this place is a lot bigger than I thought because I never went straight. And this... Oh, there's 3 of them over here. Let's quickly run by, grab the 3 rice, run over here. No one saw anything.
No one saw anything.
And now we're down here, so we need to... There's no exit here, so I want to go this way first. And I kind of went up here and then started doubling back so I don't see like I've missed anything. Because my goal is to go here, loop around here, and then here, check here, here, and then go out. Couldn't squeeze past. I thought that was open.
Eat this! You're done! Going in far enough! First strike! You're done! Just the dust! I'll take out the weight with my shield! Tiger blade! I'm on a roll now! Carried away! Charge like that can easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop.
I'll run you through! Eat this! See what happened there is you crossed me. Shouldn't have done that. You're done! Tectonic wait!
More for the stockpile.
Time to I'll tear you apart! I'm just getting started!
Thunder field.
Talon hurricane! Burn!
I'm at a limit. Can I go up and in?
Going in. I'll be saving this.
I want to try something.
Their arcs were interrupted! On your knees. Eat this! I'll run you through!
Rage.
Begin! First strike! Take this!
Going in.
Eat this! I'll run you through!
Nah.
Don't leave! Hey! Blow them away! Faster!
Nothing gets by me.
Punch! Now I'm in the groove!
Thunder field. Raging cascade.
This one's
I'm
mine.
on it! You're done! I'll grind you to stop! You're done! I'm ready! Don't leave! Hey! Blow them away!
Shoo. Goodbye.
I feel sprightlier than before.
You gotta level up. Kisaragi.
Seriously?
Kusanagi.
You're done!
Kusanagi.
Bestowed thy mystic mercy. Eat this!
Illuminated.
No further!
Holy glimmer.
You shouldn't have messed with me!
Falling
First strike! Raging Luna Sword! I'll end you!
I'll stop its charge.
Thanks, Isara.
Talon Hurricane!
Got it.
Crush you! Ah! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Shoo.
Don't leave! Hey! Blow them away! You're wide
Another
open.
one.
I'll run you through! Burn! Rip and tear! Now I'm in the groove!
Until it is done.
Down! You're all I'm on it! I'll run you through! You have to hold on!
I'm not like Bloodline.
First strike! Armor won't save you! Trouble! Now I'm in the groove!
Fires of passion.
Burn! Rip and tear! Mind destruction!
Until it is done.
First strike!
Dreams.
Severing wind!
Frozen.
Hammer! You're wide open!
Carry your strength.
You're done!
Dusty nail.
Talon Hurricane!
Going in.
Take now! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
Shoo.
Quite necessary when creating weaponry.
That reminds me, I want to check something with my strategy. Yeah, it is fairy circle still. Okay, good. Oh, I somehow derped up. Big rock. Big rock.
What do you say we check back in on the ranch?
Sugals aren't the only thing you have to watch out for. Mother Donna can be just as cruel too. I'll do whatever I can to help though. I want more orange gummies. Treat is in the shop now too. Oh, there's new armor in the shop too. For now though, I think I'd rather keep working. Ooh, those look really good with this armor set. Arts of the Cosmos. Okay. Is it a big enough upgrade or should I just hold out for the next one? Let's hold out for the next one. Accessories. I want to make some of these impact rings. Let's see. What does Law have the most for? Let me finish all of these first. I can make sheeps! Oh, and I got an expansion. I'll just do all the fishies. Okay, so I kinda want this one, but I'm also thinking probably having this would work better. But I also want to check on like Law's capabilities, like his arts, like the arts that I'm using, because I'm using a light one, 2 wind, an earth, and a fire. But if I'm on the ground, then I'm mostly using wind, earth. Actually, let's swap tectonic punch for Talon Storm, and then swap Talon Storm for Tectonic Punch. Just has a longer wind up that can drop the combo. Law didn't have an accessory on.
None at all. Wow.
Okay, well, he's gonna get a new accessory now anyway. So, now the only thing is I have to figure out... I'm gonna check what I think resistance is just the opposite of stagger. So yeah, it's if you get hit, you're way more likely to get critical, but with this, if you run this, you get so much more pen that it's like, it feels like it's kind of tailor-made to Law, because they always joke about how he can't take a hit.
Mm-hmm.
So if you run it with this, he has a super high crit rate, really easy to stagger things, but he also himself gets crit and staggered all the time. Alright, so...
It had decreased aggro on it, didn't it?
One of them did, yes.
Would that affect Law's ability to get into the hyper stance?
Hyper stance is based on number of hits.
Right, but if they're not aggroed onto him, then they're not going to hit him.
No, your number of hits. If you get hit, you instantly lose the state. When I say like getting into Awakening is number of hits, it's number of consecutive hits landed by Law against an enemy. If Law is hit by an enemy, you instantly lose Awakening.
Because I'm pretty sure that was one of the conditions for getting into the stance. That's why like range characters like Shionne and Rinwell weren't able to get into it as often.
If you're talking about Overlimit, which is different from Awakening.
Yeah.
Okay, Awakening is Law's specific mechanic where he starts glowing blue, and that can go higher depending on your skills unlocked for it. Overlimit is a bit different for Law because he has overlimit rate boosters while he's in Awakening. So he's like the only character that can just like generally not get hit and still get into Overlimit. Which is why like his overlimit frequency is so much higher than everyone else's. Like I was thinking either this one, or just, you know, moving faster, easier to get away from things, wind damage, a couple of my arts are already wind, might be nice. Or I could do this where things are less likely to hit me. I would probably have Alphanan, so like, but I also don't want to like decrease my aggro too much. Because as a frontliner, like, I still want things to be attacking, you know? Rare drop rate up, same thing. This is just always good, but it's only like 4%, I think you said?
For smalls, let me see. Let me pull the values back up.
So I guess I'll just let you and Dia decide. So, you two, should I use move, escape, and wind damage plus 15%, resistance and aggro decrease, or resistance and rare drop up?
I would say the first one personally.
That's one vote from Tachi.
Move, yeah, that would be my personal vote. But
So Dia, do you have an input? Or anyone else who's there? Dia Burst? Give you another 15 seconds. Okay. Kachi, since you're the only one who voted, I'll make the one that you suggested. Now I just have to level it up. And the fun part is I can actually throw the... I can just throw in the astral art ones. And maybe like Opal Mask, because I'm starting to find a bunch of these that are pretty cheap.
I'll be right back. I
Okay.
also left the values inside the streamer chat.
Thank you. Alright, I'm done. I'm gonna continue. Ooh, that's a head pin.
I'd like to check their wares if you don't mind.
Before I go through the trouble of swapping, I want to see what Reminisce works.
If you need help with anything, just let me know.
Okay, cool. It does work the way that I expected. Mm. Ooh, Bouillabaisse is way better. Can I, like, favorite a meal? Hmm.
This flavor. Why, it rivals the cooking of my own chefs in the palace.
Let's talk to Renwell,
Rinwell, mind if we chat a little?
since we just finished our
I
arc and all
noticed
that.
you haven't been training Hoodle lately. Is he doing okay?
Yeah, he's fine. He's been catching fish with Kisara, and he seems to be adjusting his diet on his own, so I'm not as worried as before.
Maybe that's his way of pitching in, so you don't have to do everything for him.
Yeah, maybe. I guess at some point he started taking a shine to everyone too, just like they did to him.
You sound like you're okay with that.
Yeah, more than okay, really. It feels natural having Hoodle and everyone around.
I know what you mean. We all support and take care of each other in our own ways. It's starting to feel like we're almost a family.
Huh, I hadn't thought of it like that. So does that make you everybody's dad?
Do I really look that old to you?
Yes.
Huh? You don't like that? Okay, how about you be the big brother? Shionne is the big sister. And Kisara can be our mom.
Well, then how about Doha?
Now she's sounding like Noelle.
I don't really get that kind of vibe from Dohalim. He's more like an uncle. An old uncle, who's too preachy and snarky for his own good sometimes. And as for Law... Well, Hoodle took the little brother role, and Law's definitely, definitely not the dad. This is hard. Oh! Law can be the pet dog!
A dog? Do dogs really count as part of a family?
Of course they do! If an owl can be part of our family, so can a dog. When you think about it like that, we have a pretty fun family.
Yeah, a pretty big one as well.
That's why I like it so much. I wish we didn't have to do anything dangerous. I just want to keep traveling the world with you guys the way we are right now.
You okay?
Oh, it's nothing. Actually, I think I'm gonna go practice with Hoodle for a bit. Hoodle, let me know if you sense anything.
Let's take a manual save. I haven't saved in a while.
I want to go back to bed.
Oh, you and me both, Renwell. You and me both. You have no idea how badly I want to go back to bed right now. I am struggling. Woe is me. My struggles are infinite. None can know the infinite depths to which my depravity has fallen. And yes, I know what I said. Icicle Fang! We got it! Astral energy infused harvest fang harvested from a boar type Zuko, freezing to the touch and inflicts frostbite with every gouge. That was a key ingredient. Oh, they didn't attack. I haven't fought these yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and actually fight them.
I'm on it! You're done! I really owe you one. That freaking does it!
Ugh. Leave me alone!
But there's this is I'm on it! I'll end you! Appreciate the help! Igneous! I'll take you all on!
Shoo!
Ha! Flare the Malika! I'm on it! I'll end you! Watch this! Talon Hurricane! owe you one. Take this! I'm just getting started. Inferno punch! Catapult!
Going in.
I'm on it! Now I'm real mad! I'll end you! Tiger Blade! Now I'm in trouble! I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Too bad I didn't crit.
Too slow! That's enough! Can you take it? Rip and tear!
Until it is done!
If you hear it now!
My exploits are bearing fruit.
Oh, there's the spirit tail. I was wondering where I would get that. Cool. Let's quickly cut back to the crafting. Well, actually, I don't need to cut back through. There's another craft up here. I'll just hold out for a little bit. It's not like it's going to make an immediate and undeniably huge impact of a difference. Oh? Little's friend must be around here somewhere. On the rocks, perhaps? I suspect they're over here. Aha! Hi, friend! Right bandage. Goodbye.
You're saying we should check the owl forest?
24 owls. And I don't want to fight all 3 of them. If there were a group of 2, I would totally do it. But 3 is a bit. But I also shouldn't be dodging battles. Ooh, red lavender. Fine, I'll fight you.
Out of my way! Eat this!
Holy crap.
Break this night! Big mercy!
Going in.
Appreciate the circle!
Far enough.
Keep charging us!
That's what my shield's for.
I'm on
Get
it.
behind me.
Got it! I'll leave it to you! Savage roar! Dance on the wind! Talon hurricane! I'm on it! I'll run you through! Burn! Tiger blade! I really owe you one! Crescent moon! Talon storm! Savage roar! Whirling snap! What's this? I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Teleport. Get over here.
What's this? Talon hurricane!
One more.
Burn!
Ugh. I probably actually want to come back down. Inferno Punch is kind of hard to hit on these. Let's do this Eagle Assault, and I can. I don't know. Like, Death Blossom is easier to hit than Eagle Assault, but at the same time.
All yours, Kisara! I'm practically unstoppable.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
What's
I mean, this does work the way that I
Once
thought
we
it
get
does.
to the
by the way.
mountain, the terrain won't
Did you
be
watch the
easy.
cutscene?
I did not.
We should rest
I was
up
waiting
here
for you to
before
get back.
pressing on.
Okay.
But what about Shionne? She's waiting for us.
All the more reason to conserve our energy.
Huh?
It's not only the mountain. Hard though that may be, it's a pittance compared to what follows. Namely Volron. We wear ourselves out now, or worse still, get injured. We might as well show up gift-wrapped. Right, Kisara?
That's right. Besides, Alphen still hasn't fully recuperated yet.
I'm fine. Don't stop on my account.
Oh, really? Well, in that case, it's me who wants to take a rest for a while. Does that suit you better?
A little bit.
Playing page from his book.
Mm-hmm. Well played.
So, Alphen, 300 years, huh? Care to share the secret to such a long and healthy life?
Doctors hate him!
I wish I knew. Once I left Lenegis, the next thing I remember is waking up in Calaglia. Everything in between is a blank.
You mean there are still gaps in your memory?
I've heard of starships with devices that can stave off imminent death by putting their passenger into a deep sleep. They're usually only intended as a temporary solution, until proper treatment for an ailment or injury can be obtained.
You think he might have been asleep in that starship for 300 years? But why? What would be the point?
Might this Naori have
Avatar
had
The
a
Last
temperament?
Airbender.
What do you mean?
If
You
she's
should put
Renin
more
like you
oil in
say
it.
she is, she would have understood how to operate the starship better than yourself.
You're saying she deliberately put me to sleep for 300 years?
Dohalim, that's a bit of a leap.
Forgive me, I spoke out of turn. I'm merely thinking aloud, that's all. Shionne and the maiden Naori. After 300 years, it's not unreasonable to suspect they may be related. Shionne is nearly the perfect image of her, yes? She also just so happens to be connected to you. Is it merely a coincidence?
Like I've told you 1,000,000 times already, I wouldn't know.
Well, if you're absolutely certain that it couldn't have been Naori, then I guess I must have been mistaken. Complicated machinery can sometimes break down or have failures. Sorry for being presumptuous.
Hold on a sec. Alphen, you said the mask was to placate you, right? To keep your guilt and rage in check? And you were wearing it the whole time you were asleep, right?
I guess I must have been.
So that's 300 years you were wearing it. It's just a hunch, but do you think that the mask might be...
The reason he lost all his memories?
All but a select few strong ones, so deeply ingrained in his psyche that he saw them in the form of dreams. It's not completely
makes
out of the
sense.
question.
In which case, maybe it was the mask numbing his sense of pain, too.
It's certainly possible. As for how, I wouldn't know, but the dampening effect on his psyche could have manifested itself physically as well.
I'm sorry for snapping at you back there. It's thanks to you that I feel like that we're finally getting somewhere with all this.
No apologies necessary. Reading others' feelings has never been my strong suit.
So he finally admits it.
I really hope Shionne's okay.
I get why you're concerned,
You and me
but
both.
if you don't rest when you can, you're going to regret it.
She's right. We need our rest to conserve our strength.
Yeah, you're right. Thanks, you two.
No problem. We'll save Shionne. I know we will.
Oh, and you missed a conversation
Make
with
sure to get some
Manuel.
good rest.
It was relatively short, but I rested at the other campfire. And we talked a bit about... Hold on, I'm rubbing my eye. We talked a bit about how... oh! I don't mind, hold on. I like Miss Dress. Oh no, her eyes are empty.
Alone. I'm all alone.
Let's go. We don't want to keep Shionne waiting.
I don't... Okay. So, I will take a manual save here.
Mm-hmm.
And back to title. Changes to Japanese and then look at that scene again. Oh wait, no. Oh, it only works for skits? Yeah, it only works for skits.
Wait, so this cinematics when it's not out?
No, because that's the one where like he actually got transformed. So that was significantly farther. And this is just the actual opening. So yeah, it's not what I expected. Okay. So, because that was an in-game cutscene and not a skit or a... what do you call it?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if, like... this counts?
君からの驚きは尽きることがないな。望んでそうしているわけじゃない。失敬した。
Wait.
ティスビムはちょっと変わった村なんだ。ダナの村。
So this is after we got there.
自分の
Okay, this was on the ship.
何を見張っているんだ。
ハグルズーグルだ。私たちがここに来るとき、
Well, we can compare this one at least.
縄張りを通ったせいで刺激してしまったらしい。それで気持ちの整理はついたのか。
シオンは助けたい。だがその後は。
そういえば、お前はどうやってレネギスから戻ってきたのだ。
レナの星船だ。ネビリが乗せてくれたんだ。
彼女は？彼女も一緒に降りてきたのか。
彼女は残った。俺がダナに帰りたかったように、ネビリもレネギスの同胞が大切だったんだ。巫女にされてなお、無理やり力と役割を与えられた者同士、俺たちの間にはある種の絆があった。それなのに。
待て。レネギスの者たちはお前をさらっただけでなく、同じレナ人のネビリにも無理強いしたのか。
そうなるだろうな。レナ人にも上下はある。彼女は拒めなかったんだと思う。それでも彼女は同胞のために務めを果たそうとしていた。なのにその同胞を死なせた俺を彼女はダナに逃がしてくれたんだ。ネビリは生き残った仲間のためにレネギスに残った。俺は彼女に返しきれない借りがある。それも300年だって。どうやって償えばいいんだ。
本音を言えば、過去に対して償うことなんて誰にもできないと思う。昨日のことだろうと、何百年も前のことだろうと。
しかしなら俺はもう。
罪のない者だけが戦う資格があるのか。兄さんが死んだ時、お前は私にまだその夢が生きていると言った。
What did you like more of the two so far?
あの人、
日本語。
ティオマリンが理想を否定した時もだ。それでも進まなければならないと私は言われたのだと思った。
俺はあんたにひどいことを求めたんだな。
それは違う。 あの時お前の言葉がなければ私はここにはいなかっただろう。前に進むにしてももっと時間がかかっていたはずだ。それにお前が人々を殺めたのは自分の意志ではなかったのだろう。本当に悪いのはお前をさらった奴ら、お前に力の行使を強いた奴らだ。それでも罪と感じるというなら、それはお前の中にある善の表れだ。いいか、私に戦う資格があるというならお前にもある。それでも納得できないなら、自分が何のために戦ってきたのか、それを見つめ直してみろ。
何のためにか。
Kisara has a very different feel. Like in English, she feels like a lot more aggressive about it. Like kind of in their face, but like the Japanese one sounds like she's like with the English Kisara, I like imagine her like stomping her foot and like kind of like fist in like Alphen's face, like, damn it, like I can do it. If I can do it, you can do it too. Like that kind of encouragement. Whereas with like Japanese Kisara, I'm imagining like her holding one of his hands with both of hers and being like, this is what I needed to hear. You can do this. Hang in there. Sort of thing. Like it's a different feeling. So
with the Japanese Alphen, he takes a lot more pauses, speeds up on more dramatic parts. There's more emphasis on a lot of different parts.
Yeah.
Pauses right where and then softer tones on things that were really, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Painful. So.
And that's what I was talking about when I was like, why I was ranking Alphen so low earlier in English, because it felt like even when like the Japanese actor probably would have been like screaming, he was just talking like, I'm like 300 years old. How can this be? Or like, it didn't feel like he was really getting into it, you know?
Pain. He didn't feel like he was.
Yes.
It didn't sound like he was actually that. It didn't feel like it actually hit him.
Yeah.
At that point, you know, the dialogue, you know, you have the realization that it hits you.
戦時中によくブツブツ言ってるけど、あれって何言ってるんだ？
なんで？気になる？
気になるっていうか、結構乱暴なこと言ったりもしてるけど、日頃の鬱憤を呪文にしてるのかなって。親父のバカ野郎って叫んで気合い入れるとか、そんな感じか？
ないよ、そんな栄唱。あれはなんとなく相手の雰囲気に合わせて言ってるだけで。
相手？
だからその魔法の属性の精霊力っていうか。
精霊力？お前精霊力と話できんのかよ。
そういうわけじゃないんだけど、言葉に感情を乗せるとうまく働きやすいから。
なあ、精霊力と会話できるな。明日の天気とかお宝が埋まってる場所とか聞けるんじゃね？
ちょっと本気で信じてないでしょ。
悪い奴がいる場所に雷を落としたりとかさ。
天雷の裁き、サンダーブレード。
あっぶね、何すんだよ。
Judgment of Lightning。
うるさい奴がいるところに雷を落としました。
Oh, that was great.
やっぱただこのままってのはダメだよな。
I'll redo these last two skits in English as well.
なんだよ、リンウェルか。
私じゃ何かまずいわけ？
いや、そういうわけじゃねえけどよ。ただ考え事してたから。
珍しいんだ。
茶化すなよ。真面目な話だ。
あ、ごめん。
俺さ、シスロディアでガナベルトのために働いてただろ。
目の前で蛇の目に仲間を殺されたせいだったよね。
ああ、前は寝ると夢に見てうなされたりしてたんだけど、最近あまり見なくなってきてさ。
よかったじゃない。
何がダメなの？
あれは俺のやらかしの一部なんだ。だから忘れちゃダメな気がして。
夢に見なくなったから忘れてきたってこと？なんで？どうしてそう思うの？
なんでって、俺頭悪いし。
思い出せなくなったわけじゃないんでしょ？
そりゃそうだけど。
だったらそれって忘れたんじゃなくて受け止められるようになったってことじゃないのかな？
受け止め、アルフェンみたいに。そうなのか？
うん、そう思う。ローはすごいね。
え？
私はまだうまく受け止められてないから、自分のこと。
リンウェル。
Yeah, I think these two were both like good skits that can be used as like reference points, if that makes sense. Do you think so?
キサラ、少し話をしたい。
見張りは任せておけ。
Because like that was like a lot of emotional conversation and things like that.
Definitely.
起きろ。そろそろし。
So autosave just finished. And even if it didn't finish, then I can just listen to the skits
We
again.
should be able to cook here.
And even if it did, then I can just reminisce, since those were actual skits.
Sleeping on the ground beneath the heavens like this? Why, it's hard to complain.
I always hear you muttering to yourself whenever we're in battle. So, just what are you saying?
Why do you want to know? Does it bother you or something?
Not really. It's just the way you talk is sometimes kind of creepy. So I was wondering if you vent your frustration through your magic. Are you yelling, "You stupid jerk," or something like that to pump yourself up?
What? No.
The
That's
vocal
not what's happening
changes,
during my
English specific.
incantations. I'm just focused, so I match my tone to fit the mood of whatever I'm trying to invoke.
Invoke?
How do I put it? Basically, the elemental astral energy behind each art, I guess.
Astral energy? Hold on, are you saying you can talk to astral energy?
Not exactly. But if I put emotion into what I say, it's easier for me to properly cast my arts. That makes sense?
Kind of. Okay, so if you can talk to astral energy, then you can ask it to, like, predict the weather or find secret treasure?
Wait, you don't really think that, do you?
Or you can ask it to send down lightning to where there's bad guys lurking and...
May lightning condemn those who bear false! Thunderflame!
Ah, what are you doing? You almost fried me with that!
I just asked the astral energy to send down lightning where there were annoying boys.
Like, I feel like...
The third part didn't seem... It seemed less of a... In the Japanese, there's like more emphasis on, you know, actual... use, I guess? Whereas in English, it seems kind of like you're downplaying it a little bit.
It was also that, like, in English, he changed his tone to, like, make fun of Renwalls, or, like, match Renwalls. Like, in Japanese, it's like, Kuriara! Like, in his own voice, but in English, he's like, oh, you stupid jerk! But...
She also seemed a little bit more
I don't know what
peeved
to
off
do.
in the Japanese
Things
version at the
can't
end when
go
she
on
actually
like
put the blades
this.
down.
Agreed.
What do you mean?
Ah! Oh, it's you, Rinwell.
You were talking about me, weren't you?
No, I wasn't. I've just been thinking about some things.
Really? How unusual.
Cut it out. I'm being serious here.
Sorry.
I was thinking about...
She did match the
You
smell
know how I
pretty
used to
nicely,
work
though.
for Ganabel
Like the
back
English
when I was in
equivalent.
Cyslodia?
Yeah, of course. You were brought in after the Snake Eyes killed your friends, right? I mean, you had to.
Right. I used to have nightmares about it when I fell asleep. But lately that's been happening a lot less. I don't know how to feel about that.
That's a good thing, isn't it? You should be happy.
Yeah, but... I did a lot of terrible things back then. And I'm scared I'm starting to forget what I did.
That one's not so
Okay,
bad.
so
Yeah,
let me just
this is-
get all of this straight. You think you'll forget everything if you stop having those nightmares? Why?
Because... you know me. I'm freaking stupid.
But it sure doesn't sound to me like you've forgotten.
Oh, yeah. But still.
I don't think those nightmares going away means you've forgotten. Maybe it's a sign that you've come to terms with what you did.
Come to terms. You mean like Alphen with his past? You think that's what's happening?
Yeah, I do. You're pretty amazing, Law.
I am?
Yeah. Not all of us have figured out how to accept our pasts. Least of all, me.
Rinwell.
That wasn't bad. I think they, each of them, like, did a good job conveying their emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Mind if I join you, Law?
Yeah. Okay. I'd say pretty equivalent either way,
See you guys tomorrow.
but I guess it depends on the characters, because I did say Law and Rinwell were pretty,
I
like,
feel
good
pretty
for the
refreshed
characters.
after that sleep.
So if by some off chance their voice actors ever see this, you did a good job! Amazing. Not that it would mean anything coming from me, but still. We've got a new dungeon coming up, it looks like.
That's what we're going to climb?
The villagers managed it on their escape from the city. We're going in the opposite direction, but where there's a will.
There's always a way, right? And it looks like we're out of options. Let's grit our teeth and go. Is it just me?
Biscuit?
Or does Rinwell suddenly seem much more comfortable around Dohalim than she used to?
I noticed that too. When the two of them came and found me together back on the beach, I could hardly believe my eyes.
It's not like we had a choice or anything. Law and Kisara had to hang back to convince the villagers we meant them no harm. More than that, though. There are a lot of things I've still got to come to terms with regarding Almeidrea. But I guess I'm through making snap judgments based on someone's origin. At least, I'm trying to be. I guess you could say it's a work in progress.
I see. You hear that, Law? Sounds like all that hard effort wasn't for nothing.
Yeah.
That's got to be reassuring to hear. Right, Dohalim?
Not being subjected to unwarranted suspicion is certainly welcome.
Yeah, that long-winded way you have of talking, though, not so much a fan of that.
I'm
I
guilty of
think
this
that's
as
more
well,
of a
though.
personality thing than a Renin trait.
Really? In that case, I won't have to feel guilty getting annoyed by it.
I have a similar habit, unfortunately. Well, I don't know. I mean, it depends on how you define it, I guess. Yeah, all my aerial combos keep missing.
Leave the enemy's arc to me.
I'll take you all on!
Is that a Mystic Art?
Flare the Malisa!
I'll finish you here and now. Another one down. Too slow.
Tell me about it.
Glimmer too slow.
Teleport!
There you go. I feel like me again. Eagle of Tiger Blade. First strike. You're done. Catapult.
This one, make it way! Kisara, I'll stop your movement.
And I'll stop your life!
Shoo.
With this, I can become even stronger.
Oh, and right, I want to go back before I go further into this area. I don't know if you saw or not, but I made the accessory for Law and upgraded it. So his penetration is off the charts, but his resistance is also garbage.
Finally.
Okay.
So let me... Okay. Let's find someone decent. Alright, we can compare Alphen and Law since they're both kind of frontline fighters. Look at Alphen's pen and then look at his resistance.
475.
479.
479, 399. Okay.
Look at Law's.
799, 75. Okay.
Some open space again. We should be able to cook here.
Should be able to forge. Yes, I was right. The spirit tail is for Law. Go ahead and make these. Oh, Rinwell can make an upgrade as well. Do that. And I just got an ice stone, so I was like, I can make this for Kisada, but I'll do that later. And I had an ice stone, I could have made that, but I would rather make this one. So I need the Tempest Fang for that. Oh, and I haven't sold in a while, so I should have a bunch of gold. Yep. With that done, I should be able to... Alright. Okay.
You guys checked your equipment lately?
Let's head onward. Difficulty.
Something feels odd here.
God, it's only been hard.
Be on your guard.
I need to fight these again. To see what, like, in, like, generally, like, 5-6 hits, Law can... Also, I actually have...
An astral art?
That's my cue.
Shut him down.
Fire's attack is
Rending you apart! Tectonic punch! Now I'm in trouble!
Oh wait, that's an enemy art.
I'll finish you! I'll crush you!
I thought that tidal wave was renewal and then I realized how much damage I was taking.
He who prepares is free.
Maybe Dokisa a little kindness, huh?
A victory for the ages.
Oh, I didn't get any more ice cores. Oh well, we'll get more later.
This injury hurts more than I thought. Shionne, sorry, but could you...
She's not here!
Oh,
Oh, it's like I miss Shionne.
Sadness.
I miss Shionne too. Hopefully we get her back soon. I hate these things though. Oh come on, that wasn't anywhere near them.
In a bind? I'm on! I'll thank you! Come here! Take this!
Simian pest.
I can feel you where you stand! This one's mine! Hitting pile driver! First strike! Elusive deity!
Ooh,
Thank you! Damn it! Too fast! I'll take you all on!
nice.
Flare the Malika! First strike!
Did that help at all?
Fantastic! Now my clothes are eat this! Raising moonlight sword! I'm on from beyond! You're done!
Fear throbs in
Savage roar!
Illuminated dark! Come forth, holy glitter!
Infernal punch! Right here! I got it!
I'm just gonna quickly do this and then Mystic Art.
Crush you! Lightning reflexes!
Should kill one or two of them. We'll definitely kill the one that I'm hitting, but I'm hoping it'll also kill another one. Also, watch my AC. I have an ability that gives me AG back if I land criticals. And Law's pen is high enough that he gets multiple criticals in a combo now. So he actually gets a lot of extra AG going on. It's pretty neat. So I actually want to pick this up next, actually. I kind of want to get these as well, but... There's also another, like, AG restore from critical hits. I can pick up another one of those. Because I'm pretty sure I picked up one somewhere. Yeah, here. I'm thinking I should probably get another one. But I also want to pick this up just because my resistance are so low. It's so low now. But getting this would be good. But at the same time, I also want to pick up, like, more AG from crit. Or is there, like, an increased crit rate instead? No. Increased crit damage, but I have all of the rate up ones already. I kind of want to get this as well. Like, all of these are so good. And I just don't have the points for them. So I'll let you decide. Do you think I should get even more AG back when I land crits? More attack while awakened, or deal more damage with crits?
More damage with crits.
Okay. That was a pretty fast decision. What was your deciding factor?
Crits is fun. Big numbers. Big numbers.
Oh, that was it?
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna just get two of you to chase me down the hallway. Nice! I got it!
Hi, Hoodle! Can't get out of this!
Nice! I got both with a boost too. See how, like, they break, like, super easy now? Alright, so watch my AG. Good! I could get them off me anyway. Oop, very circle. Just...
Your lordship, and will you lay down your life for your lord? Well, I mean, hey, let's not be hating.
Okay, so watch the... Watch my AG. Oh, I killed it anyway.
Blow them away! I'm ready!
Hey, I'm pretty lucky.
Elixir? Gold gel? This is new. I've never seen a gold gummy before. Royal looking medicinal gel that restores 100% CP and has a scrumptious flavor that's fit for a king.
What does gold taste like? Everything else I can think of as already fruits, but gold?
Tastes like money. Tastes like being
money.
rich. It's not the fault of us royals that the poor people cannot imagine the delicious taste of money. Yes.
This makes me think of cuisines that actually have gold plates on them.
I'll stop your movement, and I'll stop.
I'm getting that a lot.
Let's keep up the pace. Eagle assault! I'm on it.
See how my CP is still full? Like, even though I'm using arts. Also, that art in particular in Japanese is a lot more emotional.
Make for some good weapon crafting material.
Because, you know, like, she just says hammer in English, but in Japanese she's like, come on! Like, the whole time she's like slamming it down. So, I don't know. It depends on whether or not you like that sort of thing, I guess.
Little help! I'm on it! You're done! Armor won't save
More emotion is always better.
Not on my watch! Eat it! Your waters have created high! Just back it out again!
See how my CP is still full even though I was only... See, I'm at 4 right now, right?
Yep.
Split it open! I'm ready!
Oh wait, let me do this first.
Blow them away! How's that? I'm on it! I'll end you! Bestowed I mystic mercy! I'll take you all on!
Kisara's actually getting a lot of Mystic Arts on.
Flare the Malicer! Kisara! All yours, Kisara! Raging Sword! Now! Goodwill! Demon's Descent! Flashing Fang!
Oh, the damages.
With my comrades, I'm unstoppable!
And what about without them?
Unstoppable?
Clump of translucent, lustrous crimson stones. Once polished, its inner powers of fire can be unleashed. Oh? I didn't think it was going to be fire water resist. I thought it was going to be like fire damage up as like a primary thing.
I
Lemon
wonder if we can
gummy.
use this.
Unfortunately, I lost the battle chain bonus there. But not like I was going to be able to maintain it anyway. Let's go this way. Pineapple gummy. Go on. Money. Healing Pebble. A stone that when applied to an injury can make it heal faster. Combined with moderate exercise, it speeds up the body's natural healing processes. Never found one. Heal on enemy defeat.
That's pretty good.
It is, and it has increased aggro L too. This one I could give to Alphen. Fire damage up, resistance up, heal on enemy defeat. I wanted one with like, but blast gauge charge rate is good too. Unfortunately, that light damage, I wish it were fire damage. If it were fire damage, that would have been perfect for Alphen.
Go back to the second healing pebble on the right side. Fire and water damage -10, and then you get fire damage +15. Oh.
That is damage taken minus 10%. Like, you have higher resistance against those elements. And then you deal more damage using that element.
Oh, okay.
Because otherwise, all the accessories that are like this would be useless as a primary thing.
Right.
But no, that's elemental resist. Like, remember when I was fighting Almeidrea, I made a couple opals? That was because they have wind damage minus 50%. I was prepping against, like, since I know she's a wind elemental user.
Seriously? Is this a joke?
This one's mine! Shattering pieces! Attack time! Rolling snap!
So see, 4 CP, right?
Tiger blade! I'm on a roll now!
4, 2,
My whole body feels it.
game 2.
Need someone to take a look over you?
Sure, just be thorough.
Game 2 again. Game number 2.
Hey! Blow them away! How's that? You're wide open! Too slow! Burn! Eagle assault! Talon hurricane! Begin! Tear! Take this!
Until it is done! And actually, since usually if I'm coming down with that, I can actually switch this to Death Blossom. The problem with it is that, like, Eagle Assault is harder to hit with, but
Demon's Descent! Flashing Fang!
it's always been that way. But you see how, like, I never actually hit 0 AG that whole fight.
I look pretty flashy out there.
That's
So
what
glad it met with your
crit
approval.
with AG. But if, like, I only get 2 right now, I think I would get 3 or 4 if I had take the other ability. I wanted to pull just the one out.
I'm on it. You're done.
Let's take 2.
Elusive deity. More. Hitting pile driver. I'm just getting started. I'll grind you into dust. Powered hurricane. Inferno punch. I'll finish you here and now. Ripid tear. First strike. The enemy wields arts too.
We'll soon see about that.
I'll end you. Savage roar. First strike. I'll end you. Savage roar.
Now,
Demon's descent. Flashing fang.
And now the chain begins.
Wide open. You're done. Ripid tear. Death blossom. Elusive deity. Whirlwind snap.
holy land.
Begin. Savage roar. I'll crush you.
So many combos.
Tenebrous claw.
Teleport.
I'll run you through. Inferno punch.
Steel force.
I'm on it. You're done.
Lightning descent. Confiscate.
Let's do that. And we can hit this one.
I'm on it.
Radiant storm. A banana.
Impressive. I didn't even get to have my turn.
History abounds.
Make it rain. In an instant. Impact claw. First strike.
Flaming meteor. Ready.
Whirlwind snap. In an instant. Impact claw.
Shing.
I feel sprightlier than before.
It's how to level up again. 13. 13,500.
I think I'm gonna need a lot of gallows.
Yeah, because everything is so expensive now.
I've never stood so close to a waterfall like this.
Am I gonna make it? I don't think I made it.
Go Nova.
These are armored, right? Yep.
You.
Smash!
First strike. Elusive deity.
Steel force. Not on my watch.
Bet that shell's hiding something tasty.
See? I told you he said that like way earlier today.
Demon's descent. Flashing fang.
Shoo!
Way to go.
All back in their defense.
You made quick glad you have your even storm.
I'll show you how useful I can be.
That's what I need. Dance in the wind.
I didn't get the overwhelm though. I accidentally used that.
Here goes.
Elusive deity. Savage roar. Hitting pile driver. Talon hurricane. Totally. In an instant. Impact claw.
Splurp.
Over so soon?
Oh, I did get it. I am not going to be able to maintain it climbing on this ladder though. Antidote rock.
Yep, the next enemy is right there. Oh!
Oh, we made
Barely.
it. Just freaking bear. Nice, I got both with one punch. Oh, I didn't know that I could do that way. That's a neat shortcut. If you hold this, you can switch character.
Oh!
And if you do it this way, you can also see what each character is currently targeting. So like, Kisara's focusing on this one, Rinwell's focusing on this one, Dohalim is actually on the same one as me.
Can't get out of this. That's enough. Begin. Sword. Elusive deity. Everlasting talon hurricane.
Benediction. I'll take you all on.
Wait, what? We just randomly got a bunch more CP. Look, we were low. Oh, did I set it up so that we automatically weren't coming? I think I did.
Get behind me.
Right there.
Yep, I did. Let's just change that to have at least 10.
Perfect interplay of offense and defense.
I'll tear through anything in my way.
And I shall look forward to toasting our victory.
I'm ready!
Look sharp! Lightning tiger blade!
There we go. Hi, Solid. How are you?
Exploits are bearing fruit.
I'm about to do something. I wonder if you're ready for this.
えなんだ何何なんだ怖い怖い。なんだどうしてええええOh, you had so many points! Okay, so you get the breath, the ara ara, the sultry ara ara, the questioning ara ara, and the Japanese version of indignation. But which one?
Tales of Arise version.
Which one?
Dude, what do you mean by which one?
Like the one that Ganabout said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, so... Ara ara, ara ara tachi. And then... Ara ara tachi san. そのポイントを使うのは珍しいですね。ありがとね。And so, that's two. Are you happy with those?
Mm-hmm.
あらあら、タッチなんで何に使っているのあらあららそして、Are you okay with that one?
Mm-hmm.
はい。そして最後の You asked for the Japanese version of indignation from Ghana.
Here, I just posted it in the chat.
Okay. Thank you. 恐怖と絶望を味わってみよう。が信念の共にあり、汝は絶望の淵にあり。が我、明れを滑れるなり。汝はここに果てるべし。天空へすりそう。苦わり。読みの門開く障子に汝あり。出てよ、神の雷。これで、しまいよ。インディグネーション私、小なものでもよ。無へ帰れ。
Yay!
I don't know.
15,000 points saved for all that.
Did you... Do you think it was okay?
It was perfect. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you for redeeming your points.
I'll tear you apart! Watch this! I can carve through walls!
Don't worry, I've got plenty to go
No,
around.
no.
I'll tear you apart!
We're in the home stretch, guys.
Eyes on the prize!
That focus goes double for you, Law.
Me? How come I get singled
Hold
out?
on to your
You're done! Elite of deity!
Oh, now!
Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis! You don't mess around.
Certainly not.
Rip and tear!
I know you just got back down, but now you're back up.
Stalagmite! I'm ready! Going in!
Actually,
This is valuable as
I want to do that one more time, because... The indignation one more time. I'll do it. If you want. I can do it one time for free, since you
Yay!
do so many points at once. Okay. I'll try a different intonation this time as well, just to make it different from the last one. 恐怖と絶望を味わってみよう。 我は死ぬの共にあり。汝は絶望の淵あり。我れ悪霊を滑るなり。汝は国へ果てるべし。天込滅する小にがわり。夢の王の開く生じ汝あり。では神の雷。これでしまいよ。インディグネーションわしようなものでもよ。もう帰れ。
Thank you, thank you.
はーい。
I had to pick a quote that I feel like you'd enjoy doing, so I'll tap that.
That was fun.
With that, it is a lot of power. I could make it say like a lot of things. To be honest. I'll just...
So thank you.
Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Oh.
They got me flanked! Yeah, appreciate the concern.
The sooner you stop thinking.
Which version did you like more?
I mean, yes, Demon's Descent! Flashing Fang!
Easy! Way to go! Hold on to your arms. Here I come!
I want to say the second one.
Look sharp!
I wasn't too keen on picking up the different tones on two versions. So I want to say the second version just because it sounded
I'll crush you!
it's more enthusiastic slash. I think I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch the VODs and decide after I carefully listen to them, but I think the second one.
Okay. But you didn't like it?
No, I liked it. I'm just having a harder time picking which one was better.
But you said you didn't like you weren't happy with the idea of changing the tone?
No, I said I couldn't tell the difference between the two tones.
Oh.
On like
This might be some
active
decent
listening.
equipment.
The first one was like me just kind of reading it and it had like a lot more hesitation slash emotional building in it. But I was also like reading it at the same time. And then like the second one was more like condescending. Or at least that's what I was trying to do. I think it was more noticeable near the end.
Definitely more noticeable toward the end.
Or like the first one it was like pitching up because I knew it was getting closer to indignation. Earth Key. Find that amasses Earth astral energy. The divine blessing bestowed upon it affords a level of defense no ordinary cape can achieve.
This'll make us even more formidable.
Onegot Almighty Guard, which is armor made by combining thick iron plates. Even simply walking around inside of it takes a hardy physical build. Pretty big upgrades, actually. Holy crap, especially for her armor. That is a massive upgrade.
Yeah.
I feel like Law needs new armor, though. Law and... I've been keeping my weapons up pretty well, but I think I should... I haven't been...
How much farther?
Doing as much
Thank you, Women's Resistance took such a huge hit.
Mm-hmm. I've already gone up there.
In there.
Not even halfway? Are you serious?
No reason to give up now.
Yeah, just gotta buckle down.
That's the spirit.
So
In
let's
the
get them to
water's
turn
edge, I see
around.
but for a moment.
There we go. Perfect.
I've got a really
Got the
bad
shiny
idea.
by itself.
Smash you!
Electrical energy!
Begin! Rotating pile driver! Tiger blade! Now I'm in the groove! Whirlwind snap! Talon hurricane!
A thrilling performance.
Eat this! Death wonder! Crushing flash! Reflect strike! Awaken my just getting started!
See, I was almost out of AG, and then I actually got Awakening active, and now I'm just like all the way back up.
In an instant! Impact cross!
I feel the power flowing through me.
You'll be able to help even more people now.
Oh. lava. So I guess that's what the trick for the gold ones is.
Like moths to the flame. Right. Whirlwind this one's mine. Begin. Just like a fish. Take it back.
Kisara, frozen.
Hammer.
Nicely done.
All thanks to you. I'm ready.
Johalim.
Light burst forth.
Radiant Genesis.
Shoo.
You're wide open. You're done. Can you take it? Falling storm. Resonate with the earth. Falling storm.
Lightning orb.
On your time. You're done.
What now?
Kisara.
I'll stop your movement.
And I'll stop your life.
Bye-bye.
I'm even stronger than before.
Yeah, I feel like the golden ones there, what they do is they just instantly max out your battle meter. Next area.
What do you say we check back in on the ranch?
Ooh. Boss battle. Can I go into it with the meter full? And while you're away, I got a livestock expansion. And also, I can raise sheep now.
Sheep.
Sheep. Bah. Bah. Alright, so... See, like, it's not very much of a difference for law. But you can't forge armor, so... I'm, like, looking... Like, these two... I probably still should get it just because my resist is so low. And then Rinwell, same thing. I don't really want to get it for Alphen, but it's probably... Okay. I've got this. And then... Oh good! I can make her flashbang shield.
More instances.
Mm-hmm. Shield bearing a unique pattern that holds light astral energy and emits even more brilliant flashes than ever, protecting its user from harm. And then as for you, I have not made your Tenebris staff, so that's no dice. I was hoping to pass on making this, just because... What do you call it? I don't know when I'm gonna get the Tippins thing though, but I also would need to spend a lot more gold because I need to make the Tenebris staff, and then I need to make the... So I'll just make this for now. Like, this would be like, almost double the cost. Okay, so that said, wow, gold gel sells for a whole lot. That's amazing. The markdown actually isn't that bad. Like, if you look at the market... Have you seen it? Hachi?
On a phone call, give me a second.
Oh, sorry.
No worries.
I don't want to get this stuff off. Take the manual save. And then quickly
Impressed how well balanced this thing is.
thing. And then quickly dash forward. Nice.
What is this place?
Careful. We've got company.
Doesn't look like we're getting past without a fight.
Watch your feet. Fall from here and it's curtains.
We're just trying to get past. Get out of our way.
Save your breath!
All that thing sees is a talking meal.
So let's show it how wrong it is. Is it trying to stop us?
In here! I'll be saving
Eat
this
this! Exploit the enemy's weakness. Too slow! Come and get it!
Wind astral energy! Whoa! Hey! One at a time!
Now, in the group!
Thank you, Dohain.
I only did what any other would.
I think you're nicer than you let on. Oh, the magic is there! Crossblade!
On your falling star! Eat this! You're done! Tiger blade!
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Hello.
Tired.
Me too.
I'm just getting
A lot to do today.
Hmm?
I had a lot to do today.
Well, I'm glad you're done. Or are you done?
She is strong.
Yep. I am now finally able to get online.
Congrats, congrats.
This one's mine! Eat this! Already smart enough! Dragon blade! In a vine! Eat this! Take
I will be right back. I need to go take care of things.
Okay, I'm
You
sorry.
know,
I hope everything is going to be fine, but I am now slightly annoyed. I will be right back.
Okay. Hopefully it's not too bad and it's just annoying.
Oh no, it's kind of a little bad. My sister was involved in a 3-car accident.
Oh shit!
In my car. Okay, I'll be back.
Oh, you are gonna
Yep.
pay for that! Don't face it head on!
that's not good.
That is not good at all. Yikes. Hope she's okay. But he said he was just annoyed, so it seems like it wasn't that... Like, I think he would have been, like, more emotional if it were, like, actually pretty bad, you know?
Well, I'm sure he is.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it probably hasn't set in at the moment, but I'm sure he's gonna be worried.
Unless his sister's the one who called him and was like, sorry, I got in an accident. In which case, like, clearly she's okay. She's just like, my bad. I don't know.
Oh, I'm back.
Welcome back. That was
Can't really do anything about it right now, but yeah. Somebody rear-ended the car behind her into my car, so she was stopped at a light or something like that. The car behind her was stopped, and then someone rear-ended that car into my car.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
My back bumper is pushed in a lot.
Can it be removed and still drivable?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. Then it's not terrible, but I mean,
Not terrible, but
that's still bad.
it's still bad.
Your sister good?
Yeah, she's good. She's just shook.
That's good to hear.
Glad to hear it wasn't her fault.
Yeah. Oh shit, shit, shit! Okay, so I need to do this. And then what I want to do. This is pretty good. But I want to set up a new tactic. Hmm. Okay.
Got it. Changing up the plan. Dance in the wind. Air thrust. Light action.
Okay.
Got it. Changing up the plan. Tiger blade. Talon storm.
A thrilling performance.
Salad, were you here for what Tatsu spent all of his points on?
I can see it in the chat.
It was glorious. I was just sitting there talking the points going up. I was like, come on, come on, come on, come on. I didn't want to use them one at a time, but it was more fun to just bomb.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. The worst thing I was afraid of was like you like save up all these points for that and then it's not, you don't even enjoy what you got. Blech.
I mean, the points spent would just be a bonus on the side. Being able to just watch the stream and hang out is good enough.
Aw, you're so kind.
What a doll.
Oh, hua hua. Waku waku. Holy shit. The bird just dunked on me.
Bird said, "Stop it! Time to stop! It's time to stop!
It's time to stop that!
It's time to stop!"
I've let you all down.
Don't take that moment.
You killed me again.
Again. Another one.
I might want to like change the equipment. Just cause oh, Shionne's room. I don't want to take her.
That bird is going, "Oh, why am I? Oh, why am I?" Am I saying it? No, I'm not saying it right. Oh my, wow.
Oh my, wow. Shinderu.
Alright.
I'm so.
Oh
my God.
Oh fuck.
Revitalize me, Kiri.
Holy shit, this is bad.
I touched the beans. She give me the moons.
Woo! Woo! Okay. So first off, I'm gonna peach gummy because I don't want to die. And now with that done, I'm gonna go ahead and orange gummy again.
Here we go again. From beyond.
No! No, 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 no! Fuck. Ugh.
From beyond, imbue this vanquished soul with light.
I can't hold on much longer.
Not done yet. Far enough. Take this. This one's looking all wrapped up.
Don't be complacent. Do you know that word?
Yes, I'm not an idiot.
I've let you all down.
Ugh.
Couldn't make it in time.
Flaming meteor.
Sometimes the best card is sealed.
Dragon swarm.
Thunder field.
Sword red alpha. All healed. Flaming meteor. The everlasting justice.
I want to restart this fight, so I'm like, I'm not gonna heal from here on.
Going in. Try harder. Take no chance. No chance.
It looks like you got this one covered.
Tiger blade.
But take care of
Prepare to be sealed.
Beetle.
Eat dirt. Hitting pile driver. Tornado drive. Sword Rain Alpha. Dragon form. Elusive deity. Orochi's fury. In a bind. Sword. This isn't looking good. Far enough.
Guess I had to use it sometime.
Yusada, don't die.
All healed.
I was trying to evade.
Time to shine. Execution. Resonate with the earth. Stalagmite.
I'll just go ahead and reset. I'm gonna get some of my items back anyway.
I let my guard down.
Bye, darling.
This has a most peculiar taste.
It tastes like peaches.
Air pressure. Scream bathed in blood, rending you a bloody howling. Don't get carried away. Now or never. Seismic rupture. Dance on the wind.
He might actually just solo it.
Scream bathed in blood, rending you a bloody howling. Resonate with the earth. Stalagmite.
Go, darling, go!
Blood, rending you a bloody howling. Begin. I'll grind you into dust.
Wow, he's actually doing it!
A scream bathed in
He's OP!
rending you a bloody howling.
Look at him just walk calmly over to it. The giant chicken.
Reflect on thy sins. Instinct sharpened. Tempest. Catapult. Tempest. Seismic. I'm ready.
He really just soloed it!
Wow. Wow.
He really just walked up to it and soloed it! He was like, I got this.
Fauna
Y'all
like
can stay on
that.
the ground.
I'm impressed so many people from Thistleum made it through here alive.
Who's to say there weren't a whole lot more of them who didn't?
Well, at any rate, it should be a safer climb now that we've cleared the way a bit, right?
No. So long as people feel the need to face terrain this perilous, I'd say true safety's some way off.
You mean defeating Volron and putting an end to the crown contest, right? I guess that would be the best solution here, huh?
We've wasted enough time here already. Let's get going. Shionne needs us.
Okay. Let's load. Alright, let's try that boss battle again.
What would the feeling is that?
Yeah. And there's also something I wanted to do before, now that I know, that I'm gonna do, like, as I try to run into the fight. Which is... Oh, the, like, blue gauge full is gone. Okay, so... Okay, we're good. Okay.
We're just trying to get past. Get out of our way.
Save your breath. All that thing sees is a puck.
That reminds me. And I can switch to this. Hmm. I guess Warrior Emblem might actually be the play here for a while.
So let's show it how wrong it is. Is it trying to stop us?
Holy Land!
No further!
The flashing part's their weak point.
I'll stop its charge!
Thanks, Kitara.
Oh, he kills me in 2 hits.
Leave me all alone here.
Everlasting dark. Negative pace.
Vanquish darkness.
From beyond, imbue this vanquished soul with love.
Divine strength.
Their arts were interrupted.
Lightning condemned.
I'm on it!
Thunderbolt.
Allow me to help you.
Thank you for that.
Well, holy glimmer.
Let's get back into it.
Holy
Run you through! Watch it!
Oh my god.
Fairy circle! Alright! Now where was
Raging cascade.
Look sharp!
In here.
Savage roll! Ancient deity! Tiger blade! Soaring blood!
It's showtime. Here's the
Look sharp!
dark.
Now I'm in the corner!
Holy Land.
On your knees!
Hit. Illuminate the dark. Come forth. Holy glimmer. Holy Land.
Rending you apart! What's this?
My head's spinning just watching you.
Illuminate the dark. Come forth. Holy glimmer. Holy Land.
If that frickin' does it! Come and get it!
This one is mine.
That's it! I'll tear you apart! Tiger blade!
Illuminate the dark. Come forth. Holy glimmer. Holy Land.
Steel!
Its wings are lighting up.
I forgot I haven't changed the strategy. I have to redo this.
It's getting ready to attack!
Cool.
Such tremendous power.
Don't face it head on.
I'll be okay. Give me the
Okay.
Air pressure!
Lightning orb.
Bestow thy mystic mercy!
Thunderblade.
Please, fairy circle already. There we go.
Illuminate the dark. Come forth. Holy glimmer. Holy Land.
Tell me about it later. I'll end you! Oh! Now I'm real mad! I'll face you! Talon Storm! Flaming Needle!
Take the raging cascade.
Burn! Inferno Punch! I'm on a roll now!
Get on in there with the
Look
arrow.
sharp! Inferno Punch! Oh,
The multi-art spam penalty doesn't apply when you're in over limit.
Tenebrous Claw!
So I can just like jump and just spam Inferno Punch to just pump out some numbers.
Illuminate the dark. Come forth. Holy glimmer. Holy Land.
Let's try it that way.
I lost my focus!
New strategy? I like the sound of that. Holy Land.
I'm on it! I'll end you!
Enemies immobilized.
Ground and whirling snap! Yeah, appreciate the concern.
The sooner you stop thanking me, the sooner you can start helping.
I mean, yes, sir. One hurricane! Deity! Rotating
Thunder.
roll now!
Going in.
Mystic mercy!
Here's now.
I'm ready! Yukara!
I'll stop your movement.
And I'll stop your life!
Illuminate the dark.
First strike!
Come forth.
I'll
Holy
end you!
Holy
I'm on
Land.
it!
I can do this all day.
Crumble! Eat this! Negative crumble! That freaking does it! First strike! I'll end you! Tiger blade! Almost! You're wide open! Talon Storm! Light. Watch this! I'll tear you apart! I blade you all down.
Ugh.
Couldn't make it in time.
I think I jumped into that. And then you didn't see it coming with that.
Imbue this vanquished soul with life. Resuscitation.
Thank you.
Raging cascade.
Time to
Sleep
die.
now.
No further.
Let's get you all tucked away.
Far enough.
Bestow thy mystic mercy.
Wait.
Too slow.
More with that case.
That's enough.
Lightning condemned.
Knock it down.
Now I'm in the groove. Crumble. Dust to dust. Bestow thy mystic
Illuminate
mercy.
the dark. Come forth. Holy glimmer. Holy Land.
It's doing the laser thing.
Illuminate the dark! Come forth, holy glimmer! Holy...
There we go.
Got it. Changing up the position.
I'll run you through! Watch it!
Hit!
Air
Here's the
pressure!
lightning condense!
On guard!
Illuminate the dark! Come forth, holy glimmer! Holy glimmer!
Down! You're off!
I've let you all down.
You appreciate the help!
Just look up for me. That's it.
Thank you, Dohalim.
I only did what any other would.
I think you're nicer than you let on.
Tiger blade!
Lightning orb!
You're wide open! Crush!
Lightning orb!
Now I'm in the groove!
Lightning condense!
Bloody
What?
An outstanding effect.
Royal Guard! Where's your shiny?
Fancy joining the Red League? I can beat you into shape in no time.
I'm good. I've let you all
Oh, come on! The freaking roar. Like, even if you run into it like 3 seconds later.
Lightning condense!
Tiger blade!
Resuscitation! Illuminate the
Show thy
dark!
mystic
Come forth,
mercy!
holy glimmer!
Show thy mystic piercing roar! This one's mine! Very
Darn it.
Raging
Watch yourself.
That roar knocked me out of the hill.
power!
This'll come in handy. One astral energy!
felt fine not too long ago.
Piercing roar! Holy
In a bind?
All mine!
Heart require complete focus! This one's raging cascade!
Piercing roar!
Seal!
Eat this! I'll run you down!
One astral energy!
Come on.
Far enough!
Huh? Ooh.
Illuminate the dark!
Cool.
Got it. Changing up the plan.
This one's all mine!
Flaming meteor! Armor won't save you!
Rotating pylon!
Reach
You're
out.
done! Ground and pound!
I'll be
This one's mine!
Boost break.
It looks like you got this one covered.
open!
Core break. And this should be more than enough to finish this off.
Tectonic punch!
This has a most peculiar taste.
I'm ready! Catapult! Look sharp!
Bye.
Tiger blade!
Much better fight.
With fauna like that,
And we just saw that.
We've
So
wasted
negative
time.
7 point. Yay, plus 12.
Let's get going.
And everyone was alive.
Shionne needs us.
And just get treacherous waterfall.
How are we still not there yet? It feels like we've been climbing this mountain forever.
It helps if you try not to look up or down. All you need is silent determination. Talking too much will only waste energy and burn you out.
I'm too tired to look up or down even if I wanted to.
Take care you don't fall, at least. Unless you want to make a Zoogel's day, that is.
Zoogles? Why would they care if I fell or not?
How would you feel if a 3-course meal fell right out of the sky at your feet?
Zoogle chow.
Law? Best not to listen to him if you can help it. You'll only be encouraging him if you do.
Tell me that before I listen next time.
Still, Dohalim has a point. One wrong step and it's curtains.
Wouldn't it be great if we could all fly like Hootle? I bet even the refugees who didn't make it would have made it to Thistleum that way.
Until we magically sprout wings. Let's just watch where we're stepping instead, okay? Come on. Shionne's waiting for us.
Meow, 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 meow. Oh, great. Let's see. Oh, Salad, when was the last time you watched a Tales of Arise stream?
I don't remember.
I I would say I'm probably... If the limit of the game is what I'm expecting it to be, maybe 60% through?
Mm-hmm. It's not that bad. You're almost there.
Mm-hmm. Though now that this dungeon is done, maybe it's closer to 70?
Nice. So you're almost done.
Mm-hmm.
Close.
Mm-hmm.
How do you like the game so far?
It's been good. The one, like, super massive complaint I have is that they waited way too long to give you the moon selector. Like, I don't understand. Oh, shit!
Hey! Are you insane? What are you thinking? I thought we were gonna die!
One simply needs to be bold and act with conviction in times such as these.
Did you know it was gonna be safe before you jumped? Because I sure didn't.
I thought I was gonna die for real.
I figured there would likely be a basin here akin to most such waterfalls.
Don't just make people jump off cliffs on a hunch!
I wonder if we can use this.
The characters are definitely right to be upset about that. Oh, I should probably give some to Dohalim. And just kind of pumping renewal. So, that had me worried too.
Are we ever gonna finish climbing this ladder?
We're climbing a considerable height. It's only natural that it will take some time.
That's not the problem here.
We are getting closer to the top, aren't we?
You've just got to keep your spirits up, Rinwell. Positive thinking is everything.
Just let go and fall back down.
We finally reached the top.
My limbs feel like they're about to fall off.
Already? You kids need to train more.
You want to fall down again?
We don't have time to catch our breath.
Someone's got a lot of pep in his step.
Fun times. I pulled... Oh, that's all four. No. Okay.
Hi, Hoodle!
Eat this! I'll run you through!
Not on my watch!
Take it,
I can go back to using his... What was it? Impact ring.
Here it goes! It's a duel of the arts! Holy land! You got company!
I'm on a roll now!
The enemy wields arts too.
We'll soon see about that!
Eat this! I'll end you! Wait!
Illuminate the dark! Holy quiver! Holy land! I want this all day!
Inferno punch! I'm on it! Ready and ready!
Supernova! Raging cascade!
Going in!
Sweet power!
Elusive being! I'm just getting started! Pile driver! I'm on
Now!
I'll run your lead! Hey! Blow them away!
Acceptable.
Death Blossom! Talent Storm! Elusive being!
Oh, right. Can you re-enable all the wind arts?
Talent Hurricane! Make it real! Death
Kikara frozen!
Hammer! Faster! Death Blossom!
Going in!
Eat this!
Lightning orange! A banana! Let's go!
Make it rain!
Illuminate the...
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
Big crit.
I'm practically unstoppable.
Just don't get hit. Oh, yeah, SP to spend. Once we get off the ladder, anyway. Hmm. Let's get Sato working on it again. Don't remember what Alphen was doing, but oh right, I said I was just gonna save SP for Alphen. Because I'm expecting him to get a new title soon. Oh, that's bad. Okay.
No further.
I might be able to hit. Oh?
I will BRB.
Okay.
Now you see what I can do.
If it hot, just back it out again.
Oh, that's you.
Light astral energy.
An astral art?
That's my cue.
I shut him down.
You shouldn't have messed with me. Eat this. There are the brains. Hold the line. I'll finish you here and now.
Tempest Begin.
I'll crush you. Lightning reflexes. Tenebrous.
Oh, that was close.
Faster. All here. I'll run you through. Negative gate. Resonate with the first strike. Come on, this one out. Number one
Whew. Close.
More power to protect everyone.
And to be protected.
Yeah, that one.
Drums of the Master. A pair of tangerine and teal percussion instruments lovingly named Don and Cuts.
You've collected an awful lot of those objects. Sure it's not just
Hush. Be quiet for a moment. The pieces speak to me.
What?
These relics that have scattered about. I can hear them whispering, longing to reunite with their lost friends and become one again.
Really? Do you hear any voices coming from them, Rinwell?
What? No! Don't get me wrong. I'm really interested in these things too, but I'm not crazy.
But don't you sometimes mutter stuff like, "Come to me, astral energy," when you count cards?
You're right. Oh my gosh. Are Dohalim and I actually alike?
Its charm really shines through now that it's been reassembled. Its streamlined shape, its geometric patterns. This is no mere amateur's work.
He's in his own little world at this point.
You get just like him when it comes to weapons, you know.
He's right.
You're right. Oh my gosh. Am I just like Dohalim?
Huh? Why are you guys so quiet all of a sudden?
That treasure. What a sweet sounding ring it has.
You really think so? Yeah.
What is it even for? Katsu done. Now I'm hungry, and now I'm sad. I'm gonna order katsudon maybe tomorrow. It's the weekend, maybe. Maybe I can have katsudon. Tabetai na. Oh yeah? The land of Not, Ganath Haros.
We did it. We've reached the top of the mountain.
About damn time. My knees are singing symphonies over here.
Look, there it is.
It's an interesting expression.
That's Pelagian, the seat of Voron's power.
So that's where Shionne's being held?
Most likely.
Most likely.
That is what I said, yes.
Pelagian's still our best lead. So that's where we go, right?
Any advice before we head in there?
No.
No?
No.
In the ancient tongue, Ganeth Heros means Fortress of Naught, though I fail to see what insight that nugget of trivia holds.
I guess I just thought you might have something we could use.
Since Volron became Lord, the only thing this realm has been known for is its shroud of secrecy. It is Volron's stronghold. All else is incidental. Just keep in mind that you can't be too careful inside.
Speaking of which, just how are all of us planning to get inside exactly?
It's not like there are any secret passages.
We've come this far. If there's no other way in, I guess we'll just have to use the front gate. Volron told us to come find him, which means he's expecting us. Let's do this the old-fashioned way.
Land of water or no, this place has a most curious atmosphere.
I'd be taking a dip in it if the circumstances were better.
Sorry, but we have to push through for now. Shionne is waiting.
Yeah, I hear ya. A soak can wait.
Shionne's well-being, Skit.
I sure hope nothing bad's happened to Shionne.
Keep those thoughts to yourself, Rinwell. Everyone's anxious enough as it is.
Sorry. It's just... I can't seem to stop thinking about it. What do you think it is that Volron wanted with her anyway?
Going by what he said back on Almeidrea's ship, it would appear his primary target is Alphen. Though, it's likely he hasn't forgotten the blow he sustained at Shionne's hand either. That might even be what ignited his interest.
Yeah, did you see the way he reacted? It was like he was enjoying every moment. Even his pain at Shionne's thorns. Oh, that guy's just creepy.
Let's just hope he's keeping his perverted tendencies in check.
What? Law? Don't say things like that.
It's not like we weren't all thinking it.
That's still no reason to...
All right.
What did I just come back to?
Now that's enough already.
What line was that?
Alphen shouldn't have to grit his teeth while he listens to you.
Oh.
Sorry.
We were talking about Shionne's well-being and we were wondering, like, why did he kidnap her in the first place if his target was Alphen? They were like, maybe the injury he got from Shionne actually triggered his interest too, because, like, when he grabbed her, like, even though she was spiking him with their thorns, he was, like, smirking and being like, oh yeah, this is the good stuff, like, with that sort of expression. So they were like, maybe he is into that sort of thing. Really, I just bought these right before the boss battle and there's already a better one on sale. Thankfully I didn't buy the armor, so there is a better one in here. I really do need some more orange gummies though. Life bottles, let's get 3 more. And then sell. Theoretically, I could sell my older weapons, but... And this is... There's something I wanted to check. Yeah, I guess we're good for now. Let appearances fool you. Death still lurks beneath all this.
You can never be too prepared. But did we have to spend so much?
Yes. Yes, we did. Let's take a rest.
I swear I've seen that castle somewhere before. Right. I remember seeing it from the cliffs in Calaglia, across the sea.
You mean Volron's castle?
Yeah, that must have been it.
Geographically, it would make sense. It's most certainly large enough to be seen from afar.
Back then, I had Shionne and Zephyr with me.
Well, we haven't lost Shionne. We can still get her back, you know.
That's right. I won't let Volron take her away from us.
So I feel like the get CP back after battle, which is what I was using, is good, but I feel like heal after battle was better. Like 10% max HP back after every battle was probably a bit, like, stretched our CP a bit further.
Definitely.
This flavor, why it rivals...
Oh, you have conversations. You get to pick who should we talk with.
Rinwell.
Rinwell, mind if we chat a little?
You're still awake?
I've always been something of a night owl. Ever since back when I was someone's property. Turning in for the night only made the next day come quicker. I wasn't in any great rush.
Sorry.
What about yourself? Care to share something from before I knew you? You were part of a mage clan, right? Must have been handy being able to rely on magic for everything.
Hardly. In fact, not at all. Magic's not so special when you're not allowed to use it. Always scared of who might be watching?
Right. Sorry about that. I guess I've read too many fairy tales.
We were still made to study it every day. It doesn't make any sense if you think about it, studying the very thing you're being persecuted for. But that's what we did. Just like our parents and their parents before them. Honestly, I don't even know how far back it goes.
If memory serves, mages have been the stuff of legend for ages. Even as far back as 3 centuries ago, they were myths. Your people were persecuted even before the Renans got here.
Yeah, the more I think about it, the less it makes sense though. I mean, it was astral arts that let the Renans dominate Dana, right? Why didn't mages end up being the rulers of Dana then?
Maybe they tried, but they just didn't have the numbers. Or maybe domination just wasn't something they were interested in. Have you ever considered it might have been something like that?
I guess I haven't.
I wonder why magic alone attracted the attention it did. Swords can be just as lethal in the right hands. Why not ban them?
My best guess? Swordsmanship can be learned by anyone. Magic's more of an exclusive club.
So, you either have the gift or you don't. When something's not easily obtainable, it's hard to comprehend. People are scared of what they don't understand. And fear leads to persecution. So the problem's not magic. It could just as easily have been anything.
Yeah.
That's a bit too real.
Night, everyone.
Good night.
Definitely though, like, especially that last bit is like super
I want to go back to bed.
too accurate with today, the way things are today. Well, on that somewhat somber note, I'm gonna end for the night. We got a longer stream than usual, but hey, I wanted to make sure that we got to a good point to stop for the next stream.
Did you decide if you were going to stick with Japanese or the English version for the next following streams?
I haven't decided yet. I might try another stream in English and we'll see, but I also kind of want to go back to Japanese. So maybe I'll alternate, and next time people come in, I can ask. Because a lot of the opinions I got were just like, it doesn't really matter. So I'm gonna swap back to Japanese at the start of next session. And then from there, we'll just see how it goes. If we get more people and they have an opinion, then I'll swap, but we'll see. Alright, that said, thank you everyone for watching. Appreciate the support, and thanks for using all of your points, Tatsu.
No problem.
Okay. Well, with that, I'm gonna call it a night. Farewell, everyone, and take care. Be safe, and see you around. Farewell!
Bye!